Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze. I'll tell you what, I'll stick myself down the bottom, Gary. 1 minute, and I'll put you up the top, save you being there on your lonesome. I hope you're all well. Did you all just watch the World Cup final? I know there was quite a few people that didn't, but I did opt to watch it, and it was a fantastic game. But we'll get into that in a minute. Thank you everyone that has donated to us as well to support the channel. That's very much appreciated. Thank you very much. And tonight we're joined by Gary. You'll know who he is, and we've got Gary, someone else he is as well. He's been a regular on the phone-ins. It's Gary from Womford. Gary from Womford. Gary, how are you?
Fine, Nick. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. It's good to have you on with us.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, looking forward to this.
No, it's going to be good. Gary, how about yourself?
Yeah, good. Yeah, not bad. Bit surprising. This cold snap's coming to an end, thank God.
I know.
I've had enough of it. I've had enough, I tell you.
Still got the radiator on, though.
Yeah.
Quickly, the World Cup. Did you all watch it? Did you watch the final?
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
I'll tell you what a game. It was unbelievable. I mean, it's one of those games where you don't really want either team to win. It was a bit of a weird one, but once you kind of got into it, it was a great game for the neutral, wasn't it?
Mm.
You know,
after 70 minutes, it was 2-0. It looked like a bit of an underwhelming World Cup, really, in a way. You looked like, oh, well, that's it. And suddenly...
do you mean the final? Yeah, because France were out of the picture, weren't they?
I thought if France pulled one back, Argentina will get a bit edgy, like they did in the Holland game. And it's exactly what happens.
Yeah. I did say earlier on, up until Mbappe scored, there was probably a French version of me somewhere in France, calling Mbappe shit just before he banged in 2 goals.
Yeah.
What did you think of it, Gal?
I loved it. The final had everything, didn't it? I mean, that is just beautiful football. Exactly how you want to see it. I mean, unfortunately, I missed like the first 60 minutes, but I saw the rest of it. I saw all the good bits, and from that, I think I timed it right because that's when the game come alight, didn't it? On 80 minutes and 81 minutes, and then extra time was just. Oh, that was just amazing. I mean, in the last minute of extra time, there was a chance at each end.
I know.
That is the kind of attacking football we love to see, innit?
And it was attacking football. And I think if you might not watch the first half, but Argentina in the first half, they were just swarming all over France. They weren't allowing them to get out. They were fantastic. And good value. But I am glad that France pulled it back. It's brilliant the way that it finished. In the end. It's quite nice for the French to think that they almost got there and then had it snatched away from them. That was quite nice.
I'll tell you what, I don't mind the French players. I don't like the French manager. He also looks too French. He's very arrogant. That's the guy who, when Payet joined us, Deschamps. When Payet joined us, he dropped Payet at the French team and then only reluctantly put him back in when he started setting the Premier League alight. The guy's so arrogant. I think every French player that's come to us, he's dropped. Right?
Yeah, no, I know.
Don't like the bloke.
And do we have a claim on this World Cup, Gary?
We do.
Do we have a claim on it? Is it viable? I think it is.
I think it goes down as a West Ham win, doesn't it?
Oh, I think so. That's what I've been saying, but people have been disagreeing with me.
Scaloni, he played for West Ham for half a season, right? Half a season. That means this is rightfully
2006.
I know.
Well, he's the one that blew it, isn't he? He's the one that blew it. And apparently he was in tears on the way home. So now I'm hoping that Scaloni wants to come back to West Ham and repair the damage that he caused. He's got a World Cup under his belt. Now come back and win something big for West Ham.
I'll say one thing about the French manager. He's not scared to make substitutions, is he?
No, he ain't.
No.
That's the difference between him and Southgate and Moyes. He doesn't muck about. If he changes it, he does it.
What do you think?
He brought on some big players. He took Griezmann off, didn't he? He took Griezmann off and
he made 2 substitutes in the 40th minute.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't working. I'm changing it.
It is brave. It is brave. What do you think? I mean, David Moyes would have been sitting there watching that World Cup final tonight, and I think really epitomised the David Moyes performance. Now, hear me out, right? France, they tried to hold it to 1-0, but it went to 2-0, right?
Yep.
And then 80th minute onwards, they went for it. That's David Moyes' tactics.
It's right. It's David Moyes. In fact, I was listening on TalkSport earlier on in the build-up to the World Cup, right? And they were talking about, Stuart Pearce was on there as well, and they were talking about how this is going to be the new modern way of playing football. It ain't holding on until the last 10 minutes. They're called power plays, Gary.
Yeah.
It's called a power play. It's a new name. So you basically that's what you do. It's a new style of football. So you just hang on, and then you change really dynamically, and you go for it, and it's called a power play. And that's what David Moyes is clearly the king of the power play. You know,
this must be what he.
Yeah. You know, it's very, very modern, very modern. But no, it was all done. Did you see the ceremony at the end where I thought it was a bit shit actually? Where obviously you had the bloke who's paid for it all. You know, you had the prince up the front who's basically saying, "Yes, I paid for this. Yes, I paid for this." Handing out all the medals. "Yes, I paid for this." And then right at the end, Messi's come up to him, and this is where they have the big team photo. He's put a big fucking gown over his Argentina shirt. It looked really awkward.
Really?
And he's had to go in the middle of the team. So he's in the middle of the team. He's got a black gown on, while he's having his World Cup thing.
What does that signify then?
I don't know. It was obviously a gift from the man who paid for everything, you know.
Right.
Yeah, very odd. But yeah, no. So that's all done anyway. I think it ended well. What are your thoughts on the winter World Cup now? Obviously, we weren't happy with it beforehand. Do you think it should never happen again?
No, I don't think it's a good idea. Really, I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. I got into it.
Yeah,
but I think no. I think it's disruption for the Premier League that long. It might have done West Ham a favour. We don't know, but
well, we'll find out.
Overall, no, I'd rather keep it as it is. I mean, I like this time of year with the football. It comes thick and fast. The games, you know.
Yeah.
This reset now, it's going to be interesting. I think there might be a few surprises happen now. You know, with the restart, there might be a few teams that might do better than we think, and vice versa.
I think there will be. I think you're gonna see the likes of well, for one, I mean, the one team that I am expecting to do better, almost out of traps, is going to be Wolves, because they've got Lopetegui and he's got a decent transfer kitty in January as well. So they're not going to stand still. So I think they'll do all right. I actually think that Nottingham Forest will be better in the second half of the season than they were in the first. Well, they went out about 20 odd players, didn't they? And they've been all right. They're a bit batshit crazy, but they've been. You know, they've been okay. You know, they're not far away from us. The only team that I can't see changing, and we'll go into this at the moment, is us. And I think we're going to talk about this. Obviously, we're going to talk about this now. So to give you a bit of a brief, we're going to look back, not at all the friendlies, because I don't think they're all relevant. We'll look back at the most recent one, which is the Fulham game, because that is the one where I think we would see what David Moyes is looking at doing in the Arsenal game. That's the one that matters. Okay, what has David Moyes learned? Blah 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 blah. So I don't know if any of you saw that. I actually did. I managed to get a stream and I watched it back.
Before we go there, let's wrap up with the World Cup once and for all. I mean, let's just give you your comments on the World Cup overall, because I think it was a great tournament to watch in terms of sport, wasn't it? And
I didn't enjoy it.
No. I mean, it should never happen in the winter. It should never happen in the winter. But there was some really, really good football there. And one final point is Jeff Hurst's record of the only person to score a hat-trick in the final was gone, albeit Mbappe had to do it with 2 penalties.
Difference is Jeff Hurst was on the winning side.
He was on the winning side.
Yeah.
Well, that still stands. With the World Cup, Gary, I think the big surprise, what I really enjoyed was Morocco, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they were fabulous, weren't they?
I really enjoyed watching them. I think their fans were great. Some good players in that team. I won't mind getting a few of them ourselves. You know, you get the Agard link. There's a few there that I think they've got good work ethic. I think
Amrabat in particular. Did you see that tackle that he made in Mbappe? My God, that was unbelievable.
We could get him, and there's a few others as well. Look very good,
But you talk about Gary. Going back to what Gary said earlier on about this is going to be very confusing. Going back to what you said, Gal, earlier on about David Moyes, I wonder what he would have thought about the way that the French setup. Did you see his criticism? You know, he does a column. I think is it in the Telegraph? He does a column. He criticised the Moroccans for being too defensive.
Unbelievable.
He did. He thought he didn't appreciate their style of football. He thought it was too defensive.
Who said that?
David Moyes. And I thought, are you taking the piss?
Dear God, that's targeted at you, Nick.
Are you taking the piss?
Is that James Nesbitt, top right? There you go. You're getting a James Nesbitt lookalike, Gary.
Take that. Ask you both, are you expecting much change in the way with Moyes in terms of formation or no?
None.
Well, it's sort of, let's go back to what you were doing before I rudely interrupted you, Nick, and talk about Fulham, because I think that gives an indication of the answer, doesn't it?
It does. It gives an indication of the answer. Now, obviously, I don't know. I know, Gary, you didn't watch it. Gary, did you watch it?
No, but I heard about the game.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually watch it. But I heard the second half was much better than the first.
Well, basically, obviously Scamacca got injured by Diop quite brutally, clumsily, in the first sort of 10 minutes or so. It's an ankle injury. He rolled his ankle. He's gone off. Antonio didn't make the bench because he wasn't fit. You had Cresswell, who still hasn't featured. It's just
what's the matter with Antonio, Nick?
It's not looking great. A thigh strain, they're saying, but obviously he weren't even fit enough to make it onto the bench. So that's a bit concerning. But what bothered me, and I have seen this mentioned on a few other channels as well, because it's an obvious one. You've got Antonio that's injured, yeah. You've got Scamacca has just gone off with an injury. You're 10 minutes into a dead rubber friendly game. You've got a young attacker on the bench in Divine Mubama. That's his name, isn't it? Divin Mubama. You've got him on the bench, and you think, do you know what? I know they shuffled it around and they put Bowen up front, but the first half was shit. Fulham were all over us. It was terrible. It was backs to the wall football. It's what we've seen everything before the break. You know, Fulham looked good. Fulham did look good, but he had an opportunity there to. I mean, what's he going to learn from all the senior players that are playing in that game? You're in a situation where both of your senior strikers look like they're injured. We've got a really important thing coming up. Fair enough, you might throw Mubama on. He might not do anything. No. But fuck, you've missed a trick there, haven't you?
Of course you have.
You've missed a trick massively.
He would rather, after 12 minutes into a game, right? He would rather
might have found a gym.
He'd rather take off a striker and move around 3 players
That's
to
what he
compensate.
did. He brought Downs on.
Right? He brought Downs on and moved 3 players around to compensate, rather than keep it the same after 12 minutes and put a striker on. Listen, if you're not in the Moyes good books, you're fucked, aren't you?
Nowhere.
So I mean, I was very disappointed with that Fulham result, and from what I've read and what I've heard, it was just more of the same. He's learned nothing. I mean, you know, all right, we've still got the big one. You're going to the Arsenal game on Boxing Day. Yeah. That'll be the big thing to see how he deploys Pochettino.
Yeah.
Right. Any different? I don't know. By the way, I just want to answer a question here. Where's John? No, John's taking some time out because he's got loads of stuff going on in his personal life. You know, and so he ain't got time.
Well,
it does take time to do these shows.
He's back in the new year. He's back in the new year.
Yeah, it takes time to do these shows, and he'll be back. So yeah, bear with him. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I think this has been a complete, from what I can see so far, this has been a wasted exercise. I mean, the players had a couple of weeks off to freshen up, which is good. I don't disagree with that. But when it comes to approach, I think we're going to see more of the same from Mr. Moyes.
It's going to be the same.
Going on to the Arsenal game quickly, I was thinking about this the other night. I think we've got 2 ways to approach this game. Every West Ham fan I've heard on the YouTube, it's almost like this is a free hit. No one's expecting anything from this game.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've got defenders missing, of course, and now we've got 2 strikers. We don't know what's going on. But I think with Arsenal, when you watch them play, their strengths is down the flanks. You know, Saka down the right, Martinelli down the left. So to get anything from this game, if we get a point, it'd be brilliant. I think we've got to maybe go with a 4-5-1. Just this one game, Nick. I know you normally can go for just this one game. And maybe play 4 nails one side, Bowen the other, double up on them with the fullbacks.
If we sit deep against them, they'll just cut us to pieces.
Yeah, but if we just sit back and don't do nothing, or we can go the other way and just go for it and just outscore them.
That's what I think. Yeah, but
that's players to hurt them going forward.
That's what I think. That's what I think we need though, because it's going to take a Christmas miracle for us to beat Arsenal.
Yeah,
no matter how we play, because even if we were on top of our game at the moment, they're beating 90% of teams that they're playing. They're playing fucking brilliantly.
They're not unbeatable.
No one's unbeatable. But I desperately don't want to see a defensive performance against Arsenal.
No, what I'm saying though,
I don't want to see it.
If we do go that way, then obviously you've got to nullify their strengths, which is the flanks, and push them inside. They've got Jesus injured, so he's out. Yeah. They've got Nketiah up front. So if we can just double up on our fullbacks and stop them getting down the flanks, I think we could get some joy, because we have got players to go forward to hurt them. But
we have.
That's where they've hurt us.
I just don't want to hear any excuses from anyone about anything. I know we've got injuries. Boo fucking who. We've been shit when we haven't had injuries. You know, there's There is no reason why. He's got enough players. He can shuffle the pack. He can do things. He can do things differently. He hasn't got. There's no get outs for me now. I don't care. I don't care if 2 more players get injured. I want to see something different with the way that we're playing. I want to see something different with the way that he's setting up. He's got to be instilling something. He spoke about it before the season started. That is the reason why we've gone out and we've got Scamacca. That's the reason why we've gone out and we've got Pochettino and all these other players, because we're changing the way that we play. We haven't changed the way that we play. So the club have delivered. They've given him the players. David Moyes has not.
No.
On the pitch. Not at all. No. He hasn't tried to change anything. I think he's almost stuck. And the fact that he's, from what I mean, look, it could just be a curveball. We might go up against Arsenal. And he might just have used the Fulham game and risk getting more players injured for nothing more than a curveball for Arteta. Or we might see something completely different. I mean, that would be ridiculous. I don't think that's the case. I think we are literally going to see the same thing. And that, to me, all that says to me is David Moyes didn't think there's anything wrong with the way that David Moyes has been doing things. He just thought the players needed a rest. Go and have a 2-week holiday. Come back. We'll just carry on where we left off.
Well, in that case,
it'll click.
If that's the case, Nick, he'll be out of a job in 3 games probably. If he's going to, if that's what we've got to expect, I'd like to see Johnson at left back for this game, because I think he's got pace. Johnson more than Chris. I know Cresswell's not available anyway, but maybe Kehrer and Johnson, and because both of them are quite quick, and Arsenal obviously are very quick down the flanks. But I don't know. Is Aguerd going to be available? Do you know?
Aguerd, I doubt it, because he's only going to have just got back from the World Cup, hasn't
he? He picked up a what was it? A grade 1 thigh tear, and that was, I think, over. If we're talking about the 26th of December, which is when we play Arsenal, it will be dead on 3 weeks. So, assuming it heals properly, he should be back for the Brentford game, but he's not going to make the Arsenal game. Rumours that he's got COVID as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny because Morocco had him in the other game, and they pulled him out last minute, which is a bit of a strange one. Maybe it was COVID that was.
It might have been a request from the club as well. It could have been some communication with. Because look, it's third place. It's a dead rubber, isn't it? But it
what do you think in terms of the back four? I mean, would you go? It's going to be Dawson and somebody else, and maybe Kehrer and or do you think Kufel will start right back?
I think he's going to play Soufal now, because he has to, because Soufal was now basically, because now what Moyes has landed himself in is a situation whereby Ashby is going. He said no, I'm going. Johnson's refusing to have contract talks now. He's going to go. He's going to go either in January or the end of the season. He wants to go. He wants out. You've got Soufal now, who's basically come out. These are quotes. He's come out and basically said, he's more or less said, the manager won't talk to me. I want to know why I've not been playing. He's not said anything. Ultimately, if I don't get played, I'm going to go. So he's now basically giving Moyes an ultimatum, and Moyes has played him in every pre-season game as a result of that. So that's player power. Moyes is under he's in no position to lose Soufal now, so he's going to have to play him. But what I will say is, from what I've seen of Soufal in the 2 pre-season games, Udinese and Fulham, Soufal's looked all right. He's looked okay.
Yes, he's almost been back to his best, to be honest.
He's looked okay. Yeah, he's looked all right. But what I'm saying is, that's the other thing that David Moyes should have been doing. So you was talking about earlier on, Gary, about how you think some teams are going to be coming back and they're going to be a bit different, and cause a few surprises. This was an opportunity for David Moyes to start building bridges in the squad, to start building morale. All we've been getting this last few weeks is stories of discontent.
Yes.
The morale is at an all-time fucking low at that club. It's fractured. There's players in that squad that just don't want to be there, including the captain.
I think in 3 games' time, I think we'll be looking back at this and thinking we should have maybe made the change a month, 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because I just can't see what you're saying with the morale, what's coming out of the team. We're going to get this drastic improvement. I mean, let's, the one thing we have got in abundance, we've got midfield players all fit. You've got Pochettino, Rice, Duchek, you've got Downs, Ben Rama can play 4 now. So you've got plenty of options there. It's the other ends, isn't it? It's are we going to blow a back 4 or back 5 against Arsenal? And if Antonio and Scamacca's out, who are we playing up front? Bowen or Benny's a false 9?
Who knows? I think the only fit defence that we've got at the moment, I mean, Kehrer is going to come back, so he'll be available at centre half, right? Dawson will be fit, but Dawson is playing really poorly at the moment.
His head's not there, is it?
He's making mistakes hand over fist, you know. So I think what you're going to see, if we play a back four, you're going to see Soufal, Dawson, Kehrer, Emerson, because Cresswell's injured. If we play a back five, which I dread, honestly, because whenever we played Arsenal recently, we played a back five and they've just picked us apart. But that will definitely be, I would think. Oh, no, I'm forgetting Johnson.
I think Johnson's got to play left back, Gal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. So I'll revise that.
Well, you would play Johnson at left back over Emerson.
No.
Yes. I would. I think Johnson's a really good def. Emerson's in a straight back four. I'm not sure about him, Nick.
Why have we even bought this bloke?
Well, I think to play as wing back. Same as Kehrer, you know, it will probably be better as a wing back than in a back four. But if you remember the Leon game last season away, Johnson was left back in that game and he was superb.
To be fair, you're right. Even though he's a right back, some of his best performances have been at left back. They have been. But with Kehrer, I've said this the other day, right? Kehrer, because I thought we were getting a great player when we signed him, and I've looked back and I've been on a few forums and stuff like that, and he is a fantastic defender. He is. But you know what he is? He's a defender for a certain type of team. Kehrer is a defender for an attacking team that hold the ball. Kehrer is not a backs to the wall defender.
No.
If you sit deep, if that's how you set up and you sit deep, you don't use Kehrer because he makes mistakes and he takes chances. If you play further up the pitch, he's a bit of a sweeper player. He's technical. He's good. He's gifted. He'll make interceptions further up the pitch. But the way that we play, I don't see that he's going to be any use to us.
I mean, I'm not sure how. If you play Seth Cavell right back, how he's going to cope against Martinelli. That's what worries me. With Kehrer and Johnson, you've got a bit of pace there. You can try to maybe nullify him, you know.
You need pace. And again, for me, people are talking about Pochettino at the moment. I'll tell you what, if I was David Moyes, and I'm going to be outrageous here, but if I was David Moyes, based on what, and bearing in mind, I don't think David Moyes has helped his new players settle, but that central midfield, I probably would be inclined to play with Declan Rice, Flynn Downs, and Fornells in the middle.
Yeah,
that's what that's probably what I would do, and I would use Pochettino off the bench until he's as an impact player, because I certainly wouldn't feel comfortable playing him deeper, and the reason I say that is because he gets caught in possession all the time. Yeah. So if you play him deeper, just in front of your back line, for me. That would kind of fill me with fear, because he doesn't move the ball very quickly. So, he moves the ball quickly if he's in a team where he's got loads of options. But what happens is he won't just get rid of it. He won't get rid of it, so he ends up he gets caught. We've all seen it, haven't we? We've seen it happen.
Yeah, we have. I think going back to the back four, I did get that wrong. You're right. It's different to the prediction I made the other day. It should be back four should be Johnson, Kehrer, Dawson. And I picked Emerson, right? That was what I picked, because
why not Ogbonna, Gary?
Well, Ogbonna, he must have lost some pace.
I'd play Ogbonna over Dawson at the minute.
He must have lost some pace or something. But then again, Dawson's got no pace either. Yeah. So, but if we go back five, what's the back five going to be? I mean, it's definitely going to be, I would say, Soufal one side, Emerson the other, and then he'd have Kehrer, Johnson, and Dawson in the middle, right?
If I played a back five, my wing backs would be Kehrer and Emerson, because that's an attacking wing back pair.
Yeah,
that would be my wing back pair. If you play Johnson and you play someone else, it's he's defensive.
We ain't got three centre halves, though. We ain't got three centre halves.
Soufal and Johnson, they're defensive. Johnson is not he plays well, but he is never an attacking player. Not in a million.
But we haven't got three centre halves other than Johnson can play there, Kehrer can play there, and Dawson. They're the only three that can play centre half. We ain't got any others.
The trouble is, if you play with wing backs, the wing backs have got to be able to get forward. Otherwise, you end up just playing a back five.
Yeah.
And Kehrer and Emerson would come forward from that. With Soufal as a wing back, I'm not so sure. You know, I mean, you could play Dawson, Ogbonna. Trying to think who else is fit, and Kehrer perhaps in the middle, and you could play Soufal and Emerson wide. But I'm just worried about Arsenal down the flanks. I think that's where they're going to do the damage if they're going to get Martinelli and Saka quick.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. They do play wide. Can I just butt in 1 second? Right. Sniffer, one of my mates off the chat. Newcastle fan, I love you. You're brilliant. Don't you go there, mate. Jeffer scored a dodgy goal and a goal with half the crowd on the pitch. No way. No way. I'm not having that.
Perfectly good goal. I tell you, it's been proven by science.
Perfectly good goal. We won the World Cup, right? Accepts it. Something that's something that your Newcastle money can't buy. All right.
By the way, talking of Newcastle, we've signed this Brazilian lad Lazao, who's a replacement for Harrison Ashby.
It'd be good in the under 21s.
Yeah. Well, under 23s, one for the future, isn't it, Nick? One for the future.
Yeah.
I find it worrying that David Moyes is signing one for the future.
He ain't signing him. He basically poo-pooed it in the thing, didn't he? He was like, yeah, he's one for the future. So he's obviously been signed by our scouting team.
Yeah.
He's not going to get any game time. David Moyes hasn't brought one player through in 3 years. Do you know that? Where he's given players 5 minutes and 10 minutes in dead rubber games. He's done that. He's done that with loads of players, then never to be seen again. But not in 3 years, which is a long time, as he brought one player through. Under Slaven Pellegrini, we saw Declan Rice and Johnson come through. They both came through.
Interesting question here as well from Danny. Right up your street, Nick. What do you reckon of Southgate staying until the Euros?
I'm over the moon because it means that he can't join West Ham when David Moyes goes. So I don't care now. Now it's all over. I honestly don't. I'm not fussed. Also, what it means is double whammy. Rumour is that Poch and Tuchel are both hanging around, loitering around for the England job. So that means it's not up for grabs.
Yeah,
there you go.
True.
It's all good. It's all good for the Hammers. So don't care. Keep him.
So.
Question, was Moyes at the game yesterday? He was.
Oh, who was on the touchline? Who was running?
I didn't see him running up and down the touchline. It looked very similar. It looked very similar to last time with the coaching staff.
I saw the highlights. of the Fulham game. It was really nothing to write home about. The one thing that seems to have happened in these mid-season games, Cambridge, Udinese, and Fulham, is we've kept up the record of going 1-0 down in every one of them.
Starting slow. We start slow.
Yeah.
There are going to be no changes.
No.
So what are you thinking with Arsenal then? Are you not expecting anything at all from the game?
Well, for me, I'm expecting absolutely nothing. All that we can hope for, really. When I say I'm expecting nothing, and I mean I'm talking points or performance, because if we got no points, but we had a performance, it would give me something to cling on to. So if we put in a brilliant performance against them, and it looked like the team were playing, and they were galvanised, and they were together, and they were trying to do something different, I would take positives out of that. I genuinely would. If it's the same shit, and all he's doing is he's going there to get a point, and he doesn't quite make it, we lose 1-0. No. Oh, it ain't going to be, we only lost 1-0. It's going to be like, what was the fucking point in that?
By the way, the 2 up, 2 down has got a comment here about they charged a £5 for that Fulham game to watch it on West Ham Fan TV. Now, I can afford a £5, but I ain't paying a £5 for a meaningless friendly. That's why I didn't watch it.
No. I think with the Arsenal game, though, if we've got Zuma out and we've got Gerd missing, then we've got to really, maybe our only best chance of getting anything from the game is to go at them, have a go at them. And I mean, if we did have a go, and we play some attacking football, I think a lot of West Ham fans would think, well, okay, we had a go. Where if we just sit back for 90 minutes and we get beat,
we can't. And that's what I'm saying to you. We have to see something different, because if we get beat 1-0, 4-0, 5-0, whatever it is, I think we'll get beat, and I will accept getting beat against Arsenal. I won't. I'm not expecting us to win. If we win, it'd be fucking amazing. It would be. It would be amazing.
We are due a win against them, though. We haven't beaten them for them and Brighton are our bogey teams, aren't they?
Well, David Moyes hasn't won in 5,000 attempts, apparently. The last time I checked. So I can't. It would definitely be unusual if he did win.
With the strikers, do you know, like Antonio and Scamacca, are one of them likely to be available for the game?
I wouldn't have thought so. The only one that I think will likely be available is going to be Scamacca if it wasn't a bad injury.
But I don't know. Nobody knows the extent of Antonio's injury. He felt his thigh in training the day before the Fulham game, and so he pulled out. I don't know what that means, whether that was precautionary. Hopefully precautionary, with the Arsenal game in mind. Pochettino is out until the new year, says Peter.
I'm gonna ask Barney McGrew now, because he's kind of my number one troll now on Claret and Booze. Where is he? Here he is. Fuck a lot. Look at him. Barney McGrew. Moyes in. Here he is. I love Barney. Let me ask you this, Barney. What would it take for you to be Moyes out? So, if we were to lose the next 3 games and nothing has changed, would you then be Moyes out? Or are you kind of at the stage where you're so grateful to David Moyes for what he did that you're willing to get relegated as a result of it? Is that where we are? So tell me what it would take for you to, because look, people are right. It could go differently to how Mr. I'm anticipating it's going to. We could get a point at Arsenal. We could win against Brentford at home. We could go and we could beat Leeds away. We could get a point at Leeds away. That would be acceptable. But what would it take? And this is the thing, because I almost and this is what I don't get. This is what I don't get now. Oh, hang on.
There's going to be a tipping point. There's going to be a tipping point, and I'll tell you when that will come. It will come after the Brentford game, right?
Yes.
If we lose to Arsenal and we lose at home to Brentford, and I'll tell you what, Thomas Frank has got David Moyes' number. I do not see us beating Brentford, right?
No,
I don't see us getting.
I
don't see us getting anything from those two games. And so, if that does happen, and we end up 0 from 2, first of all, there's going to be uproar inside the stadium. You know, it's going to be a nasty, toxic atmosphere. That is the thing that would push the ball to do something, right? Yeah. As soon as it turns toxic inside the ground, that is when they start to react. But you can't ignore the stats. How many points we've got so far? 14, 15?
14.
14 points.
If we lose these next 3 games, we'll be 18 games and 14 points. When David Moyes came in to save us, we was on 19 points.
Which is way worse. Comment from Amanda here. He won't use the youngsters. No, he won't. I'm going to do a video on that later in the week. It's going to be entitled something like "We might as well close the academy," and I don't mean we might as well close the academy. What I mean is, while David Moyes is here, what's the point?
It's not Ollie. Listen. Ollie Scholes, right? Ollie Scholes has just signed his professional contract. So has Callum Marshall, right? 2 really bright, shining lights from the under-18s who are smashing it this season. They are. I think they're battering everyone, right? Yeah. Brilliant players. We've seen Ollie Scholes firsthand. He's come into the team against some fucking European farmers in the conference. Who was that? The last one, the dead rubber game. But he looked good. He was really good, really positive. Now that's fine. But then you've got the Harrison Ashby thing, right? So you give them their pro contract. Yeah. You give them their pro contract at this age that they're at now.
Yeah.
The only way you can stop Ollie Scholes from turning into Harrison Ashby is through giving them game time and giving them a path into that first team. Now David Moyes proved in no uncertain terms last year. We had Elise on the bench. Do you remember, Gary? We had Elise on the bench. Chelsea game.
I remember that.
In that game when we had Dawson and we had Soufal one side and we had Cresswell the other side, Elise sitting on the bench thinking, fuck me, if he ain't going to play me now, he's never going to play me.
Never will. No.
It is as simple as that. And like I said to you, David Moyes has not brought through one player into our first team squad to be a first team squad player. He has not. He just hasn't done it. And in 3 years as well. Now we've seen Josh Cullen go out. Josh Cullen's gone to Anderlecht. He was Anderlecht first. He was a captain there with Company. Company's gone back to Burnley. He's brought in with him. So Cullen probably will be a Premier League midfielder next year. We don't know how good he'll. But what I'm saying to you is there are examples, and these players, the only way they're going to get good, right? Some of them, they're not all going to be like Wayne Rooney when he was at Everton, who David Moyes was only giving 10 minutes at the end of games to, and every time Rooney came on, he was knocking one in off the fucking crossbar. Not every kid is going to be like that. Some of them are going to be like Declan Rice. They're going to come in, they're going to make fuck-ups, like he did, you know? But you know what? Yeah. You're going to make fuck up. We had to keep on. We had to persist with Declan Rice. And then it was Pellegrini who turned Declan Rice into a central defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
If we'd have had, I'll guarantee you now, if we'd have had David Moyes when Rice was coming through, Declan Rice would not be the player he is now.
No, he wouldn't have been. He would have come through, made a few mistakes and just been ditched.
Gone. Yeah. I don't trust you.
And when you listen to...
I mean, look at Vincent Company. What a difference. He's turned the style of play at Burnley around completely.
Yeah.
It shows you. You know, I think he's going to have a big future. Company. I tell you what, it wouldn't be a bad shout, would it?
You notice that go back to the Harry Redknapp type of management where he said some players need an arm around them and all that sort of stuff. I don't think David Moyes gets that part of it, right? Yeah. I don't think he's ever put an arm around anyone.
Yeah, I've seen him with Lingard. He seemed to be very much all over him whenever he used to play for us, didn't he?
He loved him.
Yeah, Ben Martin, he's a complete opposite.
It was like tonight. Honestly, I'm not joking. Could you imagine how maddened David Moyes would be with Lionel Messi because he don't run? He don't run. It'd be like, he'd get asked after a game. It'd be like, what did you think of Messi's performance? He banged in 3 goals. Well, what else has he fucking done? He'd be saying,
Messi wouldn't get into a David Moyes team. Let's face it, he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
What I don't want to happen is we get to the Europe conference starting again in March, and we're in the bottom 3 or we're fighting relegation. And I really want us to go for this trophy, because after all, we've all said 2 months ago, if we could win the conference, we'd all take 15th, 16th, 17th. Because you're in Europe again next season and you actually won a trophy.
Listen,
yeah, for sure.
I would take, if I could now remove the risk of relegation, finish 17th and win the Europa Conference League, I would do it. I would take it. But if you're 17th, there's a risk that you're going to get relegated.
Yes.
So you can't use that as a strategy. We can't just focus on the Europa Conference League. It's like people reference back to David Moyes' season at Everton, where he finished 17th one year, and they were lucky not to get relegated. Yeah. If they'd have got relegated the next season, wouldn't have been great, would it? It was lucky. So I'm not willing to have margins that fine. No way.
No, this is what I don't want. This is what I'm scared of. I don't want us to get to March and it's. I mean, I forgot about the conference the other day. I thought it was quite exciting, isn't it? And you've got that to look forward to.
Yeah.
And,
big time. But if we're around the bottom 3, Gary, that will not be prioritised in any way. The bottom 3 will in no way be prioritised. If we are that Europa Conference League will be in no way prioritised. Once you start going Thursday, Sunday, and we're in the bottom 3, it will almost be like, this is a fucking hindrance. I know it'd be nice to win a trophy, but come on, we can't lose Premier League status.
I mean, the fans will be really upset if that happens.
David
M be more upset. I think they'll be more upset if we get relegated, though. I would be.
Yeah. David M says, do you reckon David Moyes will pick Paqueta alongside Rice? I mean, I don't think he will. I think he'll ignore everything he's seen.
He won't. Souček's going to play every game.
It's like I said to you before the World Cup started. Paqueta played for Brazil in a 3. Now, if you watch some of the games for Brazil, you'd have seen that. So he can do that. He can play Paqueta, Rice, and one other.
That's where I would play him. That's where I would play him. When I was saying earlier on about not using him, Gary, do you know when we were talking about our stock formation, which is a 4-2, 4-2-3-1, where you've got basically one attacking central midfielder. We've seen that he's not great at that, the central attacking midfielder. He can do it. He's a good player, but he's not the best. I think Fornals would be better there, put it that way.
I think this is what will happen. Hang
on, go. But in a 3, in a middle 3, I would be happy with playing a middle 3 with Paqueta on the right or something like that, or Paqueta on the left with Declan Rice in the middle. That's different. I would do that because then you've got that kind of creative spark in there. But you can't have him just sitting in front of your back line, no. I don't think.
Well, like I say, with Arsenal, we either go 2 options. We either go for it, or we just smother the midfield, play 4 or 5 across the middle, try to keep it tight for about an hour, and then maybe go for it the last 30. And
I think what you're seeing here from Sofiane, right? I think he's got it bang on, right? You're saying the Arsenal game is about how he uses Paqueta, but there's no way he plays that attacking against Arsenal. No. It'll be 5 at the back with Downs and Souček in the middle, and another 2-0 loss with one.
So in that instance, Gary, if you're not gonna play, there is no point using Paqueta if the game plan isn't to hold the ball. Yeah. If the game plan isn't to hold the ball, then you don't use Paqueta. You put blockers in the fucking team, because Paqueta is a player that can only flourish in an environment, in a team that have got the ball, where he's got runners around him, like he has for Brazil, and he'll see runners, particularly wide runners, and he'll pick them out. It ain't about having world-class players around him. It's about playing in an attacking team. If he went to Leeds, he'd look better than what he has done for us.
Yeah.
He would do.
Yeah. Well, end of the day, it's, obviously, knowing Moyes, we'll know probably how he's going to set up against Arsenal, but so there is another option is, if we're lacking defenders, we can't just sit and defend for the old game. Is go for it, have a go at them. Because if everyone thinks it's a free hit anyway, if we did have a go and we did lose by the odd goal, I think fans would be more liable to be okay with it than just sitting back and playing 5 at the back and then getting beat anyway.
Yeah, that's personal. I'm not saying go gun ho. By
no,
the way.
I'm
not saying that. I'm not saying
keep it tight for a while.
I'm not saying invite Arsenal to score 15 past us. But what I'm saying is, when you're weak defensively, we've seen it ourselves. You almost saw it tonight against. Look at the Argentina-France game, right? The way that France didn't even have a shot on goal. They've got Mbappe up front, for fuck's sake, right? He couldn't get on the ball. The reason they couldn't do that is because they were winning the midfield battle, and they were attacking. They were pushing them high. Sometimes attack is the best form of defence.
Yes.
Holding on to the ball. If the other team are better on the ball than you, don't give it to them.
No. Football's about momentum anyway. I mean, you can change. You can be not in a game for an hour. If you can stay in a game at 0-0, and you can turn it. We've seen it today with the France game. 20 minutes ago, 2-0. It looked like a formality, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Barney McGrew's come back. He said he winds me up too, Nick. He does my fucking head in. So you basically just winding me up. That's all you're doing. I knew it.
Good work, Barney.
That's it. Thanks. Kent's going to Arsenal as well. I might see you there, mate. I might have to message you me number.
Oh, this is a good one. Where is Maxwell Cornet?
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Did you see the Where's Wally thing? Oh no, it was on that show you were on Hammer's Chat, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gonzo did that, didn't he? But he's very sensitive about it, isn't he? But it's a joke.
It's terrible.
Do you know what the most ridiculous thing is that he's only doing what he did at Burnley and at Lyon before. He doesn't have big injuries. He just, don't feel right today, boss.
I heard that. Right. Deitch said apparently
one of them.
Yeah.
I also agree with this. Sniffer said no such thing as a free hit in professional sport. Totally agree. We shouldn't be wasting any games, right? Why give away 3 points? Why not try and get the 3 points?
Hit the like button, people. I've got Jonathan, who's just tried to phone me earlier on. I'm going to phone him back first of all, but we're going to open the lines at 9. So yeah, give us a call from 9 o'clock. Obviously not when I'm on a call, otherwise I'll have a tantrum. And yeah, come on and have your say. Let us know what you think. Go on, Gal.
Yeah, no, I'm just going through. Hold on. He had a chance. Black Country says he had a chance to play some of the youth players. Question is, did he? Did he?
No.
He didn't. I mean, any kind of competitive. Well, it's not even a competitive game. It's a bloody friendly.
It's a dead rubber.
It's a bloody friendly. If you're going to use youth team players in the cups, and he does use them sparingly in the League Cup anyway, and when it don't matter in Europe, well, Fulham didn't matter.
With youth players, right? It's all about confidence. That is all it is. It's usually a big step up for youth players. Yeah. Not if you listen to the Wayne Rooney podcast, what he did, where he said he came into the senior setup and he's like, they're all shit. That's what he said. I can't believe they're all getting paid to play football. But most of them, it'll be a big step up. And all it will take sometimes, you could bring Mabama on. You could bring him on. He could score a goal. We could get a couple of goals, loads of confidence. All of a sudden, if you need him against Arsenal for whatever reason, we get another injury. Bowen gets injured, then you've got a player there you can bring on.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense because what's he going to do? Is he going to throw Mabama on against Arsenal? After and not blood him in at all, and then go, well, that didn't work. What was the other one that he did that with? The Man United one. Do you remember? He brought him on against Man United, then subbed him off in the same game.
Oh, yes. That was disgusting. Yeah. That was disgraceful, wasn't it?
I mean, we never saw him again. We never saw him again.
Completely destroyed. I know he was
destroyed the player. Destroyed the player.
But had to destroy a player in one fell swoop. He didn't give a toss. That was equivalent to Allardyce, right? What he did at Forest. Yeah.
He don't do. He doesn't. He's got no time for youth players, and I know there's going to be some players that are going to say. Oh, well, what it is. Managers now, their average time is 18 months, 3 years max, and then they move on. So why do they care about bringing you through? Well, you should care if you're a responsible player. You should come in. You should sow seeds for the club. It should be part of your job, like mentoring. If you're a manager, and that's the thing. If you're either a manager or a mentor, and there are some managers out there that do like working with youth and bringing them through and giving them their chance and creating players. Some players like buying players. Some managers like creating them. And David Moyes doesn't. He's got no time for youth. He had Wayne Rooney forced on him, and then he did his best to get rid of him.
Yeah, what worries me is I said to you last week. At the moment, it's the 3 teams you can see below us. I mean, Forest, Southampton, Villa, Wolves have all got new managers in, all of them. So
Southampton,
yeah.
Who they got in now? I know Hasenhüttl went. went.
Well, the old manager's not there. That's what I'm saying. But
because I
you get this new manager bounce. So you're trying to think of 3 teams that we can finish above on as things stand, it's not easy.
Southampton are the only team that I look at and I think, oh, they're in trouble. I don't look at Wolves as though they're in trouble. I look at Nottingham Forest and I think they're fucking mental. I think they're going to survive.
I can see Bournemouth going down.
I think they'll survive.
Yeah,
I can see Bournemouth going down.
Not over us. I can't. I think they're playing good football. I think. I think they messed up getting rid of Gary O'Neill. I'm surprised they got rid of him. They was playing good football under him.
Yeah, they were. Mind you, they were poor against us under Gary O'Neill. Mandy asks, has Cornet been out for 3 months? Cornet, I think he has. You know,
it's been a while.
I think he's been out for 3 months. And did he break a leg? No, he broke a fingernail. I mean, literally, this guy, he needs to have his whole body, including that little dreadlock that he's got down his head. Everything needs to be in place. Everything needs to feel right. He needs to feel good in himself. He needs to feel motivated. His nails needs to be perfect. Everything needs to be right. Not an ache or pain anywhere over his body. No. Now, I don't know about you. I haven't felt like that since I was about 10.
I am sorry. Surely a player like that not going to say in the old days. Julian Dix playing a team with Julian Dix. I reckon he'd chill him.
Well, what Julian Dix had to do in order to get that fucked up knee that Julian Dix had before every game, he had to take a cold bath, didn't he, to try and get the swelling down so that he could, and it was something like that anyway. And then after the game, he had to do more sorts of intensive treatment. Couldn't train, couldn't do anything. Felt like it was bone on bone, and yet he went out and give it 200% every game. Maxwell Cornet won't even declare himself fit.
But Gary, we've got some in this team. You can look at Dawson, who was playing on painkilling injections. You had a Bonner that played for 6 months, desperately in need of an operation. Kurt Zouma as well. We've all seen that he's been fucking injured for ages. Yeah. He's been playing on.
Most players will tell you they play with niggles. There's very few times you fully 100%. Yeah. So he's probably got a slight thing in his mind. Well, that's up to Moyes then to put his foot down, isn't it?
Absolutely right. There's a question for you, right? Because it's a statement, but it's also a question from Peter. Only summer signing who's looked any good is Downs. I think Downs has looked excellent. But think back to the others. It is about right, isn't it?
Yes. No, it's not. It's not. But then
it's not wide of the mark, is it?
It's not wide of the mark. No, I think we saw glimpses from Scamacca. But to me, the worry is, and this is the worry, okay, because I worry that the likes of I believe Scamacca is a brilliant player, and under the right manager in the right system, he would be brilliant for West Ham. He's got nothing to do with him being Italian in the Premier League, nothing at all. I just think that we've got a good player there. He looks like he's losing the will to live. It would just be a shame if we leave it to the point where, because it can happen. We saw it with Haller, right? I think all that happened with Haller was he got to the point where he was sick of West Ham.
Yeah,
he was like, I'm fucking sick of this. I've got to get out of here. I'm done. I've got to get out. And once it gets to that point, it's very difficult. We've all been in scenarios in work and stuff like that where you just think, I've had enough of this. I've got to fucking get out. This is horrible. And that is the worry. I don't want that to happen with these new players. And we haven't got. I mean, look Johnson on his podcast that he done recently. What we spoke about.
Yeah,
Johnson actually said, they asked him about David Moyes, about is he approachable, and he basically said, well, I wouldn't approach him.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, if you had a new manager come in, like say Pochettino, I know it's hard, probably won't happen, but I think you'd see an instant reaction from the players. Suddenly, you'll see players playing better than they've done all season, and it will just spread through the team.
It will spread through the team.
At the moment, there's like a bit of an apathy there and a bit of doom and gloom. You can see it, can't you?
You can, and this is the thing. My worry is this is my worry, and I mentioned this on the show that I did the other day with Gio and Gonzo when I was on with them. When we bring the next manager in, everyone says it's going to be Dyche. Everyone keeps on saying Sean Dyche. He'll get him running. That only just worked with David Moyes when he came in. When Pellegrini went, we had 19 points after 19 games. When David Moyes come in, we got 20 points in 19 games. There is no saying that Pellegrini wouldn't have done that. We finished one place higher. David Moyes came in when we were 17th. After half a season, we was one place higher, 16th. That's where we finished. And I don't think that a manager like Moyes, or maybe I'm being unfair on Dyche, but like Dyche, is going to inspire the level of player that we've got now. I think we need inspiring. We're going to need people to come in and inspire the likes of Paqueta and Scamacca. Give them a lift tactically, not come in and say, "Oh, you lazy bastard, you're not running enough." Fucking get on that training pitch. We ain't going to need that.
Surely Poch, or one of the top managers around, look at Rice, Paqueta, Scamacca, Bowen, Ben Rama. I mean, there's some good players in that team.
We've got this is a false position, Gary. Where we are is a false position. We've got a brilliant team. We haven't got a good manager. We haven't.
So this is a good point from the Moyes Collective, whose sarcasm I love. GSBK invest 180 million and let Moyes manage it. Relegation form from the first year. How many clubs would wait for Moyes to evolve? Like my dog will never evolve into a cat. And that's the thing, right? Moyes talks about the team transitioning, but this is as much about Moyes transitioning as it is the team, right? And he's not prepared to, is he?
It's entirely about it. If you have a look, I know it's a championship, but if you have a look at what Company has done with Burnley, Gary, I don't know whether you've seen Burnley play this season. He's transformed. Yeah. He's transformed the way that they've played. Right, so you're talking about Moyes transitioning. He's gone out and bought world-class players. Company hasn't. He's just got them playing different football because that is Company's football philosophy, and that's the way that he manages his team. That's all it is. So there might have been a few games that are sort of bedding in period. Same with Postecoglou when he went to Celtic. The first few games weren't great. Then it clicks in. Then it goes. What we're waiting for Moyes to, I don't know, go and do a crash course online to learn how to be Pep Guardiola. I don't know.
I mean, yesterday I listened to a bit of the radio and Burnley were playing Middlesbrough, which is a top of the table clash in the Championship. Carrick's at Middlesbrough now. And they said with Cornet, you cannot believe when you see this Burnley side how different it was. He said they use all the pitch, they opened the game right up. You know, and these guys come in and he's just, you know, bearing in mind they've lost their best players. I mean, Cornet, Pope, Woods, I mean, the
centre half.
Centre half. Tarkowski,
yeah.
And yet, he's got them playing like this, you know, and which is really good. Which shows it can be done.
But that's what shows you a bloke with a little bit of something about him can do. You know, because it isn't just having the tactics. Being a top level manager is not easy. The amount of it's multifaceted. You know, you've got to be tactically astute. You've got to be a good man manager. You've got to be able to juggle pieces. And this is why David Moyes is not a man manager. He can't manage players.
No.
And this is why, and I'm convinced now, he likes a small squad. Because
he's got his favourites.
The only way you can keep players happy is by putting them in that fucking team.
Yeah.
That's literally getting them their win bonus and their playing bonuses. That's the only way you can keep them happy. Because we've seen it now from Vlasic, from Krau. We've heard it from Soufal. You know, the trend is ridiculous. We've heard it from Johnson on the podcast. He don't talk to his players. Very few of them.
There's another good point here, right? And this is a point I made several weeks ago when we saying we've got no pace in the team, right? You don't necessarily need to have rapid players in the team because very rarely do you have a foot race, right? But you've got to play an expansive brand of football that moves the ball up the pitch really quickly. And that's where I think Rio Ferdinand pointed out about Mbappe. He scored God knows how many goals in this tournament. He said not one of them was due to his pace.
No, the ball moves quicker than any player, Gary.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And one player has got a bit of pace is Cornet, and he's injured.
Yeah,
you know,
he does.
And he did give us something a bit different, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's almost, you know, I think, and that's why David Moyes was so desperate because when Lingard came in, we were struggling. We were starting to get found out at that time. When Lingard came in, it was happening. The wobble was happening there. It was starting there. And then Lingard came in, and all of a sudden we had this player that could just pick the fucking ball up and just drive it. We've got a lot to thank Lingard for, the little shit, even though we don't like him, because he's one of the reasons that we did get in a position that we got in that season.
Yeah.
He drove us through. I know it was for him for personal reasons because he wanted to get back into the England setup and he had a point to prove. But David Moyes must have thought, "Fuck me, what have I stumbled on here?" Because not even he could have thought that was going to happen.
Can I ask you a question? Do you know this thing about the board giving Moyes? He's got to get 5 points in the next 3 games.
Yeah.
I mean, I know whether you hear things. Is there much truth in that? Do you think?
From what I've been told, the 5 points thing is a nonsense for a start. If it were to be true, it would all be dependent on the order of his victories. For instance, if David Moyes was to get a point against Arsenal and then get a win against Brentford, then I think he's fine. Yeah. But if we get a point against Arsenal and we lose against Brentford, I don't necessarily think he's going to get leads.
David Sullivan runs the club by the seat of his pants, right? There is no plan. There is no long-term plan. No. He doesn't know. David Sullivan doesn't know how he's going to feel after the Arsenal game and after the Brentford game. No. That's why this thing about he's got 3 more games is nonsense, because David Sullivan doesn't think that far ahead. If he gets to the point where he's getting heat inside the stadium, the team's getting booed off because they've just lost to Brentford, and everything's going fucking crazy online, that is the time when you'll see Sullivan react.
What will happen is if we lose to Arsenal and we start slowly against Brentford and we go a goal behind, then I think it will turn. I think you're absolutely right there. So the Leeds game could be an irrelevance, couldn't it? I think it could all hinge on the Brentford game at home.
It could be.
I mean, this is Barney McGrew scare tactics, right? Every chance they turn to Warburton, still want Moyes gone. Yes, I would take Marge from the fucking canteen over David Moyes. I would. Anyone. I'll take that loaf of bread. I don't care. I just want him gone. Worry about Warburton out next when Warburton's shit.
Exactly.
If he's shit, then it'll be Warburton out. But Moyes, it ain't working. So at the moment, there's one problem. There is no one that you could scare me with over Moyes. I would take anyone over Moyes. I'll take Allardyce over Moyes. I'm telling you now, that's outrageous. I'll take fucking Sam Allardyce at the moment over Moyes because I think he'd keep us safe. There you go.
Right. Question by the Mice Collective again is like, look, we don't comment on other fan channels. Are they paid? Are any of them paid by the ball? No, don't be silly. No, of course they're not. No, this is just people having certain channels take certain stance and other channels take other stances. And with us, we often take different stances on the same channel, right? But no, can honestly say that.
Look. If we're being honest, we're not going to name names, right? There is an instance whereby, and this is where we're different. For instance, I heard it on West Ham Fan TV. They're very similar. They speak their mind a lot.
Yeah.
And Nicky said for that reason we will never get invited to anything to do with West Ham. We're not part of the inner circle. We're not, because we speak our mind. We don't toe the party line. Yes, there probably are some that do. And get information and stuff like that. We don't. We get information, but not directly from the club. We get it from other means, other people and stuff like that. But yeah, there is definitely a benefit to some people to be in that way. But then again, I do believe that some of the channels that you're probably referring to, I think it literally is just because they're Moyes in and because they want to stick with him. And do you know what? As much as I don't fucking agree with it, it's everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Exactly. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and there are
apart
certain
from
people
Barney's not entitled to his opinion.
But there are certain people who will stand by the manager until the manager is gone. Right.
Yeah.
And that is, my cousin Paul, who I stand next to at football, he said exactly that. Right. I can't get my head around it personally because I reach a tipping point and that's it. I'm gone. And I reached that tipping point several weeks ago. But, we'll do well to get a corner at Arsenal.
Do you reckon I'll ever get invited to West Ham corporate, Gary?
Nick, I got Mr. Sullivan on the line. He wants to speak to you.
It's interesting.
No, I don't think so.
It's interesting what Kent said about yesterday about it was rubbish till the kids came on. So maybe, but you just know in a Premier League game, Moyes is not going to do that, is he? He's going to just go safety first. You can see why young people. You can see why young players are leaving the club, can't you?
Completely.
All day long.
And see my video on Thursday about that because I've got a very good idea for a video.
I will say one thing, right? And this is the thing that bugs me. It does, and this is about Harrison Ashby, right? That I've actually seen. I've seen an article now, and I've seen a show on this as well, and it was on a different channel. If I can find it, I'll put the link in the description. And I didn't know this. I didn't know it at all. Ashby's dad was a professional footballer. He used to play for Watford, Barry Ashby or something. He was a professional footballer. Harrison Ashby has been advised by his dad, right? Now, he wanted playing time. Apparently, Harrison Ashby is going to Newcastle for less money than what West Ham were offering.
Says it all, doesn't it?
They just can't see a path through David Moyes into that first team.
See, we've all watched him. I mean, Gary, I don't know if you've watched him, but me and Nick have watched Harrison Ashby firsthand, and he looks a talent, doesn't he?
He's the best right back at the club.
He looks a talent.
He does.
So I think we're making a big mistake there. I mean, there are people. I use Twitter a lot, and I sent something out about us signing this Lazar one for the future to replace Harrison Ashby, and almost immediately it's like 5 responses going, "Oh, you name me one player who's left us as a youth and done well." You're kind of missing the point a little bit, right? Because, how can I say? If you've got a young player who's been developed in this system and brought through in this system, John. Oh, it's John. Yeah.
John.
Yeah. So and John knows this more than anyone, is a player gets settled in a youth academy system and their familiar surroundings and everything else. The best thing for that player is for them to progress in that system, right? Rather than extracting them, ripping them out of that system and throwing them in to a club where they have to live or die as a pro, as a full-time pro, right?
Yeah.
But you've got to, at the same time, they will take that risk if you don't give them a chance and a route through to the first team. Yeah. And that's what we're seeing more and more. And who's that kid we lost to Leeds? Will he turn out to be any good? Who knows?
He's had more game time for them already.
But you're not comparing apples to apples, is what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Perkins, had he stayed with us and had he developed, he might have been a very different player to the Perkins that's gone to Leeds.
Do you not? Elise's doing well at Sunderland. Longello, I know he's only on loan, but Longello's never going to get a chance under Moyes. He'll get farmed out. He's doing well.
He's playing very well.
But do you not think that the Elise thing, particularly last season, that for me, because he was a very popular lad, Elise as well in the youth academy.
He was.
There would have been a lot of people that looked at that and went, "Fucking hell!"
I was staggered when
we ain't got no centre backs, and he still ain't getting a chance.
I remember that. I couldn't believe it. I'll tell you another thing about Moyes. We talk about his record against the top 6 away from home, which is dreadful. When you go back to Slaven Bilic when he was at West Ham in 2016,
go on,
just go on, Gary. Finish your point.
Yeah, I'm saying when you think that season we went away to Arsenal, City, Liverpool, won 3-0 at Liverpool. Every team, we went at Leicester, Chelsea, we drew, we should have won, we got done by late penalties. Every team that season, the top teams, more Bilic, we just went for them. And I love that season. And
I know.
And you see Bilic now.
I love that season.
That
for me was my favourite season in West Ham, in my West Ham life.
I mean, he had a world-class player.
We've had some great nights under Moyes. I'm going to tell you what they were now. And I mean great nights. In COVID, the Tottenham game where we came back 3-3, that for me will go down as one of my best ever. Chelsea was good, but for me, the Lyon and Sevilla nights, right? And he has given us good moments. He has, that pops up on my Facebook feed. The Sevilla game pops up on my Facebook feed, and me and Ben watched that last night, and it was a good night. We were playing good football at that point as well. So that's.
I'm not going to pull it down like you are to a couple of games because there were a lot of games, right? There were a lot of games. I mean, there was Tottenham, there was Chelsea, there was Liverpool. There was the City game. We've
always had a handful, Gary.
I know.
Right, Barney McGrew, Nick, do you get info from fans who do toe the party line? Yes, from some we do, but what we do, which is different, we don't. I will never take. I'm always cynical, so. We know that when we get information from what's that? Cynical?
No, you're not cynical.
No, but when we get information from people, especially when it's to do with the board. Because let me explain. If there are sources out there, they get good information. They get good information. But then when it comes to things like the ownership of the club or new managers or because they also get used to peddle the narrative of the club, I can smell that a mile off. I don't, in big situations, I don't buy the club stance. I don't buy it because what they say and what they mean and what they do are two different things. So there are some channels that will take the party line from the club as gospel because Sullivan said that. I'm not saying he hasn't, but I don't mean it's true. So for us, we do things a little bit differently. We use our common sense and we do cross-reference with others as well. We're not always right. We're not. But like I say, I'm a bit of a cynical bastard, especially where the board are concerned. So,
this one here from Snazzy Azzy. My question is, when will the away fans turn on Moyes? Well, I think it won't happen at Arsenal. Obviously, it'll be Christmas spirit. The home fans will likely turn on him at home to Brentford, and then it will be down to the Leeds game, I guess. And what will happen there is all the pressure will be on Leeds, and you know how we approach those games when the pressure's on is we go up there and we try to defend, right?
I swear to you now, I think if we lose against Arsenal, which we will, I keep saying Arsenal, we should forget that. If we get anything against Arsenal, it's a bonus. If we lose against Arsenal and we lose against Brentford, I do believe he's gone. I don't think at that point he gets 3 games. Yeah. I think if he gets a point against Arsenal, we lose against Brentford, he gets Leeds.
I agree with you, and that's what Mandy's saying. If he lost to Arsenal and Brentford and beat Leeds, I don't think he'll get Leeds.
What's the point in keeping Leeds in? What's the point in keeping him for that?
That's if the 5-point thing is true, of course.
Yeah.
So we're not going to judge it on the next 3 games. he could lose all three of them. Maybe they're going to stick with him.
It ain't based on that, Gary. It ain't based on number of points or number of games or anything like that. It's based on Sullivan's mood at the time, right?
Yeah.
He's going to lose patience with him at some point and realise the writing's on the wall that we're in a relegation battle, and he's got to do something about it before time runs out.
But the thing is, Gal, I mean, if he's going to be selling the club next year, we need to be in the Premier League.
We do, and so that's why he will have to do something about it. And he'll probably, my guess is after the Brentford game, which would, in Nick words, make him look like fucking idiots. Right?
What's the date of the Leeds game? Because I'm trying to think. We've got the Arsenal Boxing Day, because you've got the transfer window opening up. Obviously now, if he went, and we've got a new manager in, obviously a new manager would have to have an input into who he wants to.
New manager. Yeah, so it took a week. So it took a week to get a new manager. So my diary is my schedule is this, right? Follow the timeline. 26th we play Arsenal. 30th we play Brentford. Following day, what's that? Is it 30 days in? Yeah. Last day, New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve he gets sacked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we got 7 days to find a new manager. The new manager will have 3 weeks of transfer window left.
Gary, can you imagine the New Year's Eve celebrations?
Oh, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? What a New Year's Eve that'd be.
I'd put the next week off. I'd put the following week off. I would. Josiah Greenmoth, thank you very much. You're a gentleman. I can see Rice leaving in January. Hang on a minute. What do we think about that? I can see Rice leaving in January. I think, for me personally, I would hope not, because I think that then, in my opinion, if Declan Rice, because he would be part of that, if Declan Rice chose to leave at that point, then that would destroy his legacy for me, because that is Declan Rice leaving us in the shit, and that's not acceptable.
No, I don't think that'll happen. I'm going to ask you a question. With Declan Rice, if, say, out of argument, say Pochettino come in, a top manager, would that influence Rice at all? If he suddenly we start picking up, you don't think that would make any difference?
I think the only thing that would make Rice stay would be what Nick floated on Hammer's chat the other day, would be a Qatari buyout, where suddenly we become one of the big boys and we can go out and sign a top manager and a load of top players.
It could also be Jim Ratcliffe as well. He's wealthy.
It could be. But by the time that happens, which will be summertime, won't it?
Yeah.
He'll already be gone, won't he?
Yeah. The thing is also, I think with West Ham, I said to you last week, we've got to learn as a club when to sell players. Because if you can look at Declan Rice, you look at Bowen, particularly Bowen and Souček, their valuation a year or two, just over 18 months ago, you could got a lot of money for those two. And one of the lads was saying on another channel, the guy with a beard, what's his name, the top lad, he's on
Anton.
Charlie.
Charlie. And he was saying about, he doesn't worry about losing Rice, and you got to sell the players at the right time, because
but I don't think January's the right time, though.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think he will leave in January. I think he'll go in the summer.
Yeah,
but I do think with players, we've got to learn when to let players go. And then you look at Leicester; they've done it for years, and they won the league and they still won the FA Cup, didn't they?
My opinion of Declan Rice is it depends on the ambition of the club, right? I don't think you need Declan Rice if your ambition is mid-table, survival and stuff like that. You don't need Declan Rice to do that. Declan Rice is going to be most beneficial when you're pushing at the other end. So if our ambition is for more than this, and it is to sustain and become cemented in that kind of top half of the table, the top 6, then you have to keep Declan Rice. If that's what your ambition is, you've got to find a way to keep him. You've got to find a way to convince him.
I'll tell you what else, Nick.
But not if we don't need Declan Rice where we are at the moment. Not really.
No,
not really.
The other thing is with Declan Rice, when you watch him play for England, he's very restricted. That's why some people said he didn't have a great World Cup. He just passed the ball 5 yards sideways. That's it. If he went to the top team, that's what he'd be doing, exactly the same job. At West Ham, we've tried to allow him to become a box-to-box player, but he's not going to be a Gerrard or Lampard who's going to get 10, 15 goals a season. He's not got that in his armoury. So basically, you look at Amrabat, Morocco.
Leave that up, Gal. Yeah.
If you've got Amrabat in Morocco, and you could see him coming in doing a. Well, I know people love Declan Rice, and he's a great player. He's going to be one of the best DMs around. But end of the day, if you had to say, let me give you an argument. Say you took a Payet. Say you had Payet now in this team now at his peak.
Yeah.
And you had to choose between keeping Payet when he was playing in 2016 or Rice. Who would you rather keep?
Oh, Payet, but I don't think Payet. I don't think Payet would be the same player under David Moyes.
No, I'm just.
No, he's talking about peak Payet.
In terms of like replacing people, Nick.
Well, it was. I swear to you now. I said this in summer after that season finished, and I was honest as well. I thought Payet. It was a tragedy that he didn't win the Player of the Season that year. Right? Yeah. He's got do you know when they do the YouTube show reels? Right from that season. He's got like a 12-minute show reel from one season, and it ain't all like replays of the same thing. It's all fucking different. It was like a career's worth of moments in one season. And I said at the end of that season, if Barcelona offered to swap Messi for Payet, I'd have said bollocks. I would not have wanted to have lost him for anyone.
He's at that point. He
was world class, and he could win a game on his own.
Unbelievable.
I'll tell you what. A lot of people said about Di Canio and versus Payet and things like that, right? If you take it over a one season, just a one season, not over, Di Canio played for us for 5 years or whatever it was, right? If you take it on one season, Payet has got to be the best player that's played for us.
Yeah. He's the most talented player I've seen at West Ham.
Yeah. If you watch the games 2016, I remember going watching away to Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool.
Yeah,
and he took it. He actually dominated them games.
He did.
We're talking Man City. If you actually watch them games, he actually went up there, every one of them grounds, and he actually ran the show.
How good did he make other players around? That is when you know you got a real world-class player.
And that was Noble's best season.
He made Noble look like Xavi. He made everyone around him look amazing. Cresswell, left back playing on that side. Chiari. Antonio, everyone around him looked amazing at that point.
I heard Mark Noble the other day on the radio talking about. It was on the Radio 5 Live on Friday, and he said about Payet, and he said who's your best player you ever played with, and he said Payet. Yeah, he was different class. So what I'm trying to say is, to lose that sort of player, it's harder than to replace in a Declan Rice, because you can get people.
Leave that one up. Leave that one up, Gal. The one you just.
You want to talk about that one?
Yeah, I say I'm so sick of this, guys. Moyes, I respect him. 2.5. It's been good. It's been good. He is sabotaging us because he's so stubborn. I do agree with this. I do. We lost Elise. We're about to lose Ashby. Concerns with Johnson's contract. And I'm not joking. I think the guy is so fucking stubborn. He will cut his nose off to spite his face.
I think he will. I think
he'll cut his nose off to spite his face. I think he's so stubborn. I think there might be some players this summer that have probably been given to him that maybe he didn't want. We know Ben Rama he didn't fucking want. You know, he didn't want him. Well, imagine if credit to Ben Rama that he has not been able to crush his spirit, because Ben Rama is still, and the funny thing is probably only Ben Rama that is the reason that he's still here now.
Yes,
this season, because he's been the best performer. That's the irony, you know. Let me open the phone lines anyway, Gal. Go on. Quick running through the comments, because I've got to phone Jonathan back. And I've got Dave Trevitt who's going to phone in. Dave, you're second. Jonathan, phone first. Hang on.
Moyes is clueless, tired of hearing him call for more time. Yeah, well, that time's just going to run out, isn't it? He continues to play defensive football. Yeah, what Nick said is exactly right just now. He will not change. I think he would rather get fired retrying the same old shit than to actually change his mentality and take a different approach. That's if he's even capable of taking a different approach.
Why do you think Sullivan hasn't got rid of him yet? What do you think? Do you think he's just doesn't want to part of his contract?
Well, I think Sullivan is doing everything to keep the cost base down.
Jonathan.
Hello, mate.
How are you? Dave, I know you just phoned again. You're a very naughty boy. I'll phone you back after Jonathan. All right? So
I won't be long, Dave. Don't worry, mate.
Coming in, Jonathan. How are you, mate? You all right?
An hour to yourself. Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Nick, how are you, mate?
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good.
Do you know what? What a game today.
Mate, I was buzzing. I was buzzing.
Ham, but...
honestly,
I can't believe it.
Because it was one of them games where I was so apathetic about it. I almost wanted it to be shit. I wanted it to be shit.
You know what's funny, honestly, this morning, someone was going about, which boy you watching the game today? I said, do I look Argentinian or French to you? That's literally what I said. Like, I couldn't give a shit. And I was also like, I said, good luck to Messi. I like Messi and all that, but I'm not like a Messi fan as such. Do you know what I mean? I don't follow him. Like I said, if he wins it, fantastic. Couldn't care less. By the end, I was like, Messi.
I know. Look. I'll be honest with you. I am happy for him because he is.
Me too.
I know people. I'll tell you what makes people sick of Messi. It's all the punditry. It's the way that he only has to make like a 6-yard pass and everyone starts blowing smoke up his arse. but he has been superb. That goal that he scored against Croatia. Well, he didn't score it. He assisted it. The one where he was up against that defender who's been the one who wears a face mask.
Unbelievable.
One of the best defenders of the. That defender did everything right. He did everything right. He was showing him on the outside because he never sort of really goes onto his right foot. So the defender did everything right. He had no space, and what he did there, mate. And did you see when he laid that ball off? So I can't remember who scored now. It might have been Alvarez. He laid the ball off. So he done that defender, laid the ball off. He was already running behind the goal, celebrating before the bloke had even stroked it into the net.
Such a good player, man. Such
amazing.
A good player. Yeah, I did see
amazing.
that.
Yeah.
Do you know what as well about today?
Yeah.
Is I didn't want to get hyped up for it. Not that I would, because I'm in life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very rarely do things end with a nice bow wrap around it.
Yes.
Like even though he's had a spectacular career, he's scored bundles of goals, bundles of assists. He's won everything in the game domestically and also European wise. So the idea of him captaining Argentina, like Maradona did back in the day.
Yeah.
Him doing that, he could retire now. I just thought, it's too perfect. The world doesn't work like that. It's not a Disney film. But it literally is a real life, like, beautiful end to an amazing career. And he's also a guy that's he's not offensive in any way either, is he? Even though, you know what?
I'm so sorry. Hammer 89. What the fuck?
That's a great comment.
That's a moral dilemma, right? He's just basically asked me, Nick, would you let Moyes fart in your face if it meant he got the sack?
You'd love that.
You would, wouldn't you?
You'd love that.
You would.
I would. I'd let him fart in my mouth. I would. I'd let him fart straight into my mouth with no pants on.
You'd be like, where should I lay down? Where do you want to squat? What's the question?
Go on, mate. Sorry, that was just tickled.
No,
me.
that was it. We're done with that now. No, that was it. Just amazing. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, fantastic. And I was in a pub as well. I was actually going to the pub for dinner. I didn't know the football was on. And the next thing you know, it was brilliant. Everyone was into it. Even people that weren't even into football, you could see. Like the fucking bar staff, everyone, the manager everyone just stopped. About halfway through second half is when it all became like, this is actually one of the best World Cup finals. That was
the best final I've ever seen. It was brilliant.
Ever.
And it was good. It was good. What made it, as Gary said earlier on, what made it, because Argentina was sort of walking it, what made it was the fact that France did get back into it.
Yeah. Gary timed it perfectly, didn't he? He said he missed the start, didn't he, Cal? And,
I did. 60 minutes I came in.
You never, after about an hour, if you said that it's going to be 3-3 penalties, you would never believed it. But with Argentina,
and just that, and then Mbappe gets an hat-trick as well. Mbappe gets a flipping hat-trick as well.
I know.
And then he don't lift the World Cup.
It wasn't a real hat-trick, though, was it, Jonathan?
It wasn't that boy.
Yeah, it wasn't a real hat-trick, was it? It was 2 penalties. It wasn't a real hat-trick. So, you know.
The way he took the second goal, though. My God.
I'm not being funny. He scored 3 penalties in one game. Ask Harry Kane how easy that is.
Yeah,
and he's a world-class striker, Harry Kane. Baggio's missed in the World Cup. Do you know how many players missed in a game? That boy is ice. That boy is unbelievable.
He is.
Penalties are not easy. You know, fucking hell. 2-1. You're 2-1 down.
Yeah.
You got was it 2 or 3-2 down, and you got to score a penalty with 3 minutes to go. That's not just a penalty. No fucking way.
Hang on a minute. Dave Trevitt, leave it out, Nick. You saw the... No, I didn't see the fucking 60. I was born in 1980. I never saw the 66 final. Cheeky bastard. I know I've got grey hair, but Jesus.
But hang on. You're saying it's the best final ever.
The best one I've seen. The best one I've seen.
Me too.
What about the one that you were at? What about West Ham Liverpool? Hey? West Ham Liverpool was a great final. No, it was a miserable ending. It was a miserable ending, but what a great final.
It was a great day and a great final. But we can't call that a great day. No.
What about Man United against Arsenal, 1979?
Hang on a minute.
No, this was better.
Talking about West Ham Liverpool, lads. Talking about West Ham Liverpool.
It was a tough paper round, David. Yeah, it was. It was in Beirut. I delivered milk in Beirut. Go on, mate. Sorry, what was that?
Now, talking about West Ham Liverpool final, we need to get Scaloni in. He's involved in 2 fantastic finals now.
Oh, is this when we get rid of David Moyes? Are you Moyes out now, Jonathan?
Is Moyes out? He wants
Scaloni in your face,
I was going to say one thing to you. We're talking about getting another striker in as a third striker, about spending a lot of money. That Warhorse, he was at Burnley, played for Holland. He looks useful, I saw him against Argentina. He scored a brilliant header and that free kick he got. But he looked decent. He didn't go for a lot of money. No. If you want to play him, B and try to bring off the bench. He looked.
But there are some players. It's like I know. I don't know who he fucking plays for. Who's the one that plays for Argentina in midfield? Something Paul, D Paul or something.
D Paul.
What a player! He probably plays for a top team. But for me,
McAllister then.
And no, the pair of them. But that De Paul, what a player! He was Amrabat from Morocco, and McAllister, what a player! Yeah. Where the fucking we've got to nick the Brighton scouts. I mean, where did they find him from?
Yeah,
McAllister, what a player! Fantastic player.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Brilliant player.
Yeah,
there are players out there you can get. I mean, Brighton are particularly very good. Look at some of the players they've got in, incredible. Not cost a lot of money either.
Mm.
You don't need to be paying out fortunes all the time for players, really.
I did cover this earlier, John. Can we claim this World Cup? Yes, we can. Of course, we can. We can. But anyway, Jonathan, come. We've got what are your thoughts for the next 3 games? What do you think is going to happen then?
Do you know what? I just want it over and done with now. I want it over and done with either way. Like I've never been and am not Moyes out. Yeah, but what I am is realistic. We've spent a hell of a lot of money. It's been absolutely shite this season. It hasn't been good now for over a calendar year.
So are you Moyes in then?
You always do this, don't you?
No, you're saying you're not Moyes out. Does that mean you're Moyes in? If you're not Moyes out, you're Moyes in.
I'll tell you what it is. I've listened back to some of our shows, and I'm like, actually,
there's no fences. You can't sit on any fences on this show.
You can. No.
No, you can't.
I'll tell you what. No. I can tell you what I am. I am a fan of David Moyes, the manager, but I realise, and I'm being realistic, at West Ham, he may have run his course. So, if he doesn't, in the next 3, I don't even know about 3 games. I think 3 to 5 games. If we don't see any improvements, he'll be sacked, and he probably deserved to be. I mean, that's how I.
Would you be heartbroken if he was sacked?
No.
There you go. You're Moyes out. You don't even know it. You don't even know it. You're Moyes out.
Bad. I'm a little bit done with all this. This season's absolutely fucking. Like I'm a little bit like, fucking get it over and done with.
On the upside, Jonathan.
There's so much.
On the upside, Jonathan, Gary, Dave Crafty, Nick's already said it. If David Moyes gets fired after the Brentford game, New Year's Eve party round Nick's house.
I'll tell you what, I'll put it on. I'll open the doors. You can all come round. I'll put the postcode online. Use your sat-navs. Get round here.
Build it and they will come,
Nick. I suspect, though, do you know what, though? The thing about our board is that his contract runs out at the end of the year. They'll be desperate to run that down and then do it and then get somebody without having to pay anyone's compensation. Then they'll take their time. Our board people. Our board, our board, even though they take their time, they're quite brutal when it comes to like last game of the season at half time, he'll be fired. That's what our board are like.
But what I'm saying is, Jonathan, can we just worry about one thing at a time? Let's get rid of fucking Moyes, and then we can moan at the board for not acting well enough or giving Wolverhampton so much time afterwards.
What we're looking at is interim. We're looking at an interim, then, aren't we? Realistically,
I would. Yeah. Even if Warburton came in for the first 2 or 3 games and he did all right and he looked like he was keeping us up, I wouldn't give a shit if we kept him till the end of the season. It wouldn't bother me.
Like an upturn in fortune.
Wouldn't bother me too much. I personally think, as Gary said earlier on, Womford Gary, we've got a good team there. This is a false position. I think there's a cloud hanging over the club at the moment. I think we've got a lot of players. You can hear the murmurs now. There's players that don't want to be there. I think if you remove Moyes from that situation, I think there'll be an instant uplift. I do. I think there will be. So maybe we do just need babysitting until the end of the season. I think that might be enough. I don't know.
Do you know what I like to know?
Who's available for that kind of thing, though?
What's that?
I just wonder who's available for that kind of thing.
I would rather give, if it was a case of Sean Dyche or Warburton, if it was a case of Sean Dyche or Warburton until the end of the season, I would take Warburton until the end of the season because then we can go again in the summer.
Continuity. But
also that means that we don't have to stick with Warburton. So, whereas if we get Dyche, you got Dyche for 2 years. We're going to end up having this There'll be a fucking Dyche out show in 2 years' time, otherwise, if we end up getting Dyche.
I'm sorry.
And you'll be on there saying, "Oh no, I'm not really Dyche out. He is shit, but I'm not really Dyche out."
I'll give you 2 weeks, Nick.
No, I don't think Sean Dyche is the answer. Do you know what? I wonder if I've got it in my head. I don't know if it's going to happen, but like Mourinho is somebody that I would like to. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. I'd be very happy to get someone like that after Roma. I don't see how Roma are better.
No, look. Personally, if you're going to get a pragmatist, I wouldn't like his football. But if you're going to get a pragmatist, get a winner, right? Get a winner. Mourinho is a winner. Like I said, there are different types of managers that, if you're David Moyes sets up to not lose a game. I think there are managers like Conte, like Mourinho. They do set up conservatively, but ultimately their game plan is to win. So what they do is they try and break the opposition's hearts, and then they'll go and they'll tear it out later in the game. That's ultimately what they need. Like if you look at the way that fucking Spurs play with Conte, 9 times out of 10 they only get like 3 chances a game. That's all they need.
In fact, Tottenham,
the problem with Mourinho is it's a circus, though, isn't it? Even though I said I'd like him, he does bring with that circus of Jose Mourinho, which is the issue. You know what we need? We're not going to get him now. Maybe the end of the season if it doesn't work out. Somebody like Graham Potter. Somebody like Frank at Brentford. Somebody like before he lost his star a bit, Hussein Huttle a year ago, or whatever. Someone like that, even Poch when he was at Southampton. That kind of. I would like someone like that.
Yeah.
Eddie Howe when he was at Bournemouth.
Personally, for me, I think we've got an opportunity to. If you're looking at up-and-coming managers, right? So, because I think that's what you need. It's like when Arsenal went for Arteta. You get one. West Ham, for instance. I've said it so many times. West Ham get one opportunity to get these types of managers. Thomas Frank, I think his next move will be big. It will be.
Yeah.
I think Thomas Frank. I think Vincent Kompany that people have spoken about. If you can go out and get an established one, you get Pochettino, you get Tuchel. If not, be ambitious. Go for a company. Go for fucking Postecoglou in Celtic. I know people are. And what does annoy me?
I listened to what you said the other day.
But what does annoy me is. When you talk about someone like Postecoglou, who has basically won everything. He's won everything, right? Wherever he's been. But he's only managed where he's managed. He can only manage in the top flight if he's given a chance. It's like a paradox, isn't it?
Well, Wenger did the same, didn't he, sort of thing?
Yeah.
He came from Grand Passate in Japan. Good reputation. History.
What I would like
Alex
to
Ferguson,
see.
I know we're not going to get someone like that, but Alex Ferguson smashed it in Scotland with Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Hang
on a minute. I'm going to shut up, Gary. You take over because Lawrence is saying it's a Nick show. I'm obviously talking too much. Go on, let me have a break.
What I was going to say to you was, what I'd like to see West Ham is inject a bit more pace into our team as well. All this. It's like playing this tippy-tappy possession football. You watched the France game today when they started to actually open up and started playing with pace. It's so exciting to watch, isn't it? And I'd like to see us get a few more players in with pace in the side. As I said to you the other day, Nick, if Rice goes, I'll be against getting Broja. I know he got injured now. Broja and Gallagher in as a swap with some money. Maybe try to get Amarat.
If it was Chelsea, because this is my problem. We've just shown what we do with 180 million. So if Declan Rice is going to go and he's going to go to Chelsea. If you was to offer me 100 million or just 2 good players in return, I'll take 2 good players in return because at least then you're getting 2 good players. Although Broja's just knackered his leg, so he's
he's got ACL.
He's fucked now.
Yeah. I mean, Broja's valued at 30 million. Gallagher's probably valued around about 50. So that's 80 million. So for Chelsea to give us 20 million in them 2, we'd have a right deal in our hands, I think.
But anyway, look. But anyway, what we're going to do, Jonathan, I'm going to give you do your predictions, and then I'm going to have to give Dave a call back before.
No, that's fine, man. I'm going away tomorrow anyway, so that's all right for me.
That's good. So listen, Arsenal.
Yeah.
What we're going to do against Arsenal? Who's in the middle?
Brentford.
We're losing
Brentford
2-0.
and Leeds. Come on, tell me what's happening.
We're losing 2-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah. Are we winning at home to Brentford?
At home. I think we're going to. This is me being positive, and the way we're playing, we're losing to Arsenal, and we're going to get a draw and a win from Brentford, Leeds. Me being positive, but I don't know.
4 points.
That's 4 points. So I mean, that'd probably be enough for him. That'd probably be enough, I reckon.
Yeah, but I'm not really like. I'm not saying I'm not bothered. I'm a West Ham fan. Of course, I'm bothered. Don't want us to get relegated, but I'm just kind of like where I'm like. just fucking either sort it out, Dave, or go.
But do you know what that's enough to do? If that happens, if he gets 4 points, that'll be 18 games and 18 points. All that's enough to do is to give him another 3 games.
That's relegation form.
That's
another 3 games.
Nick. When have our
another
board,
3 games.
Look at it, historically, though, just try and look back. When have our board ever pulled the trigger? And even Avram Grant, I can't believe look what happened there. They let that, but most times they don't. Bilic,
Pellegrini and
Bilic. The only time they pulled
Pellegrini.
Do you know?
No, but they waited. They waited a long time for that, didn't they?
They waited until about 18 games, wasn't it?
19 games, and he got
19
19
games.
points. Yeah.
How many games have we played? Have we already played that?
And do you know what the amazing thing is, Jonathan? Do you know how bad was Pellegrini that year?
I'm not going to say it's the worst because obviously it wasn't.
Well, do you know something?
Terrible.
Do you know something? In 19 games, he got 19 points. How many points do you reckon David Moyes got in the next 19 games?
Oh, that's bad.
Tell me.
I don't know, but I know you said we finished one place.
He got 20 points. He got 1 more point, and we finished 1 place higher.
That's magnificent.
Because you know what?
He saved
that
us.
Season he came back in. That's it. No, but that season he came back in. Now hang on. Wait. That was a very weird one when he came back, right? Because there was the break for COVID, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 halves, and the first part of his the first part was actually shite, really shite. And it was only after we came back from the break that we did not the great escape, but we did really well. It was only 6 games or something, wasn't it? Or 6 or 7 games. He did really well in that bit. But you're right, the first bit was we were free. We'd lost to Brighton. We were 2-0 up to Brighton, weren't we? And then we drew to them or something ridiculous. So it wasn't very good then. So,
look,
it's probably run its course. It's probably run its course. With David Moyes, like it probably has.
I think it has.
So
just come out. I was saying earlier on about Newcastle. He was basically questioning our because we won the fucking '66 World Cup, right? With Jeff Hurst's hat trick, and he was questioning that. And now he's saying, because he's a Newcastle fan, Newcastle have gone and got the Brighton scouts, haven't they? Of course they have.
They buy everyone. They've probably bought his house. They've probably taken his house apart bit by bit and reconstructed it in Tyneside.
Yeah.
What's an ask you, Nick?
Do you know what it is with David Moyes, Nick?
Go on.
He deserved a chance, and he's now coming to his last chance. Like, he's deserved it.
He's had loads of last chances.
He has deserved the chance, and he's probably run out of chances now. He's got these 3 games, but like you said, if we get like a draw and a win, it's not really good enough, is it? But
it's gone stale.
It is what it is.
No, a draw and a win will be enough to reset the clock on the three games thing again, and it will just.
But to be fair though, a draw and a win against Brentford and Leeds is actually not bad. If we hadn't have had such a shit start to the season, and I say we were like, I don't know, 10th now, and we lost to Arsenal, drew and won, we would be happy with that. But the problem is now we need wins.
The scary thing is when you look at the upcoming fixtures, it's beyond Arsenal and Brentford.
Yeah.
Because I think Brentford are fine. I think they're going to be all right. But it's Leeds, it's Wolves, it's Everton. We've got 3 of them on the spin.
Yeah.
The scary thing is relegation.
6 pointers.
The scary thing is relegation.
Those 3 games when you're in our position. You can't lose those games.
We are massively in trouble, and there is, and we're going to be very, very deep in trouble after the next couple of games, unless we get some miracle. Now, miracles do happen sometimes, right? I haven't seen one for a while, but they do happen sometimes. So I'm not saying it's not going to happen. We could go and get something from Arsenal. We could beat Brentford at home. That is perfectly feasible. Right.
This has got a feel of 2003 about it a little bit.
It does. Too good to go down, right, Gary? Too good to go down.
And the players we've got, you know what I mean? And it's sort of worrying me that we're where we are at the moment. But what I'd like to know is one question. Do you remember when it all went wrong in the league? We played Liverpool, beat them 3-2 at home up at London Stadium.
This was back in November.
Yeah. That's when last time we played really well in the league.
22, yeah.
Then we had
international break.
Yeah. We had an international break. Then we went and lost to Wolves 1-0. And ever since then, the league form's never been the same.
No, I know.
I remember when I thought, I'll tell you what I thought.
Was it just Bonner getting injured or what?
It can't just be
I tell you what I thought it had really gone tits up for us, Not really tits up, but I thought this is not right massively, was when we played Leeds, and then Leeds had like half the fucking 11, 12 players injured. And they were already playing badly. I think Bielsa was on his last legs, or they just got the new manager in. And then we lost. We had like a nearly fully fit team.
Bielsa was still there.
Leeds.
Bielsa was still there.
Oh, was he? So, and when we lost that game, I just thought, what is going on?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. I just think with David Moyes, it goes back to something I saw earlier on. It's like that message I sent you earlier, Gal. I was out. I'd take my dog for a walk over the golf course opposite, right? And you go up a little slippery slope. Obviously, it's all icy at the moment. We've done the dog walk. We've come out. I'm queuing up to get out. There's a Mercedes in front of me. It's fucked. It's parked long ways across the road. It's slipping all over the place. I must have slicks for tyres. Can't get out. So I'm sitting there thinking I'm gonna have to get out and give him a push. And then some lovely bloke, got out behind me in a BMW. And he got out. He was in a bit of a huff, and he's walking towards him. He's all dressed nicely in Timberlands and everything else. Anyway, he's fucking slipped on the ice, isn't he? And do you know, like when you're in that situation, it lasted for what? It felt like about 30 seconds, where his legs have started going, and they're going quicker, and they're going quicker, and they're going quicker, and they're going quicker. You know what's going to happen. You know what's coming. He's going to go. And eventually, he ends up about vertical, about 3 fucking foot in the air, and crash. He goes down. We know that's David Moyes. That's David Moyes on the ice at the moment.
Nick,
we know it's coming.
You know what? Yeah.
What happens is, Nick, I think any team.
How do you not laugh in that situation when it's right in front of your car?
Things run its course.
It's funny. It's so funny.
Things run its course in the end. Every team has a couple of years. It's just gone stale over there. You know, even Liverpool this season, you can see they're not reinvested in the midfield. They look a bit, haven't got the legs in there.
Yeah.
You can't stay. If you stand still, you go backwards. And all that we're saying is just the same
as well.
We just got stale. That's all it is.
Yeah.
He's right. You're right, mate. The first time I came on this show was a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago.
That's a while ago now.
It was a couple of months ago then, right? And basically, it was just before the last 3 games before the World Cup, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I said I didn't think we were gonna, I thought we were gonna do well in those 3 games. Losing to Leicester, losing to Palace has really shaken my belief in not David Moyes as a person and as a manager, but it's shaking my belief in David Moyes as West Ham manager and this project. I feel, I'm now like at the end where I'm like, just fucking either salt it or piss off. Not piss off, but you know what I mean? Salt it or get rid of him. That's where I'm at now.
I don't
want this to drag on.
If we do end up keeping Moyes and make him work from home.
I know. I love that comment.
Fucking brilliant. That is brilliant. That is brilliant.
I think we all know what's going on.
Anyway, listen, get Gary on. Is it Womford, the guy from Womford?
I'm going to find. No, Gary from Romford's on the screen. So I'm going to bring.
Is that Gary?
Yes, Gary from Romford. Yeah.
Got multiple Garys on tonight.
Yeah.
Too many Garys. So confusing. You know.
Oh, I didn't realise. Is this the guy that phones up a lot?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, good to meet you, Gary. Good to see you, mate.
When are you coming on?
I didn't realise it was you.
Well, I'll tell you what we're doing.
Back from holiday.
Listen. It's a bit of an open invite. You two are both invited. You've been on the screen. We can only have so many on screen at once. But if you're free, not everyone will be. We're doing it next Friday.
Yeah, Friday night.
Just making you all aware, because we've got a lot of new subscribers since the last one that we've done. There won't be any structures to this one. It'll be a fucking mess because we'll have a lot of people
drunk.
Brilliant. I've got my Christmas party, office Christmas party on Friday, so that should be fun.
It is a bring a bottle night, so you've got to drink. It's mandatory. It's mandatory.
I'll phone you Friday night, lads.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that. Anyway, Jonathan, thanks for the call, mate.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one, lads. Thanks a lot.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
See you later, Jonathan.
Right, let's give Dave Trevitt a call. He's going to be happy. Right, hang on.
No, I don't.
Gary goes on TalkSport and speaks for 3 hours.
Been a few years since done that.
Yeah. Thank you, disabled team.
Hello.
Very kind of you.
Dave, I've been phoning you for ages, mate. I don't know where you've been. Sorry, mate. You all right?
Well, that's a lie, isn't it?
I've got to operate things on a queue. Honestly, Jonathan did. He phoned up after 10 minutes. Jonathan did into the show. But how are you anyway? How are you, Dave?
Right. I just want to start off on a serious note.
Oh dear.
I lost my mum about 9 days ago.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Sorry to hear that, Dave.
No, it's not that. I just want to say thanks to yourselves and this chat. They've kept me a bit sane, to be fair. So, cheers.
Oh, mate. So I am sorry to hear that. We know how that feels, myself and Gary. So, sorry, mate. It's horrible. Awful.
Okay. Right. I just want to say one thing. It's not what I phoned up for. But you had a little talk about Payet earlier.
Before you go, Dave, what was your mum's name?
Pat.
Little drink to Pat.
Yeah.
Right, cheers. Yeah. So you was talking about Payet and Di Canio earlier. I just want to give my take on that. For me, Di Canio was better. Payet had that one superb season, but Di Canio did it for a few seasons. He loved the club, he loved the fans. So for me, Di Canio all the way.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, you can't compare the two players for West Ham, right? Because Di Canio, he gave us the longevity, the relationship with the fans and everything else, right? But I think if you judge it over one season, say we only had Di Canio for one season, I think that's the only fair way to
the difference is Di Canio never used to do it away from home for him. Most of his best performances were at Upton Park. With Poyet, that season he went to all the top teams and he just dominated the games.
Well, I think maybe if we word it differently, I think you're right. Di Canio was a legend for the club because he did it over a sustained period. Undoubtedly, that's true compared to both players.
Yeah.
But in one season, I don't think I've ever seen a better player in one season. That was the best I've ever seen from anyone. I don't think we'll ever see that again in one season. It was ridiculous.
These free kicks were like getting a penalty, weren't it? We used to get a free kick, it's like getting a penalty.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the Palace one will always live with me.
What about the Man United one away in the FA Cup when he scored about 30 yards, top corner?
Well, the Palace one was after it developed his reputation, and they brought players off the bench. He had like 13 players in the wall, didn't they?
The biggest wall you've ever seen, and it took such an arc. That ball was unbelievable.
Oh, it was
Good news from Dave Crafty, Nick. He's on the phone trying to book a minibus to come round to your house New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it's good. Very positive. Dave, go on, mate. Go on. Sorry, back to you, mate.
Good.
But you say that I saw Devonshire, and he used to do that every game, mate.
Oh no, I wish I'd watched him. I wish I'd watched it. He was a player ahead of his generation, wasn't he?
I remember Devonshire.
He used to rip
1980.
Yeah,
1980 Cup semi-final replay at Ellen Road, where Lampard got the goal with 3 minutes in time. I was up there. In that game, they put John Gidman. They marked Devonshire man for man, and Devonshire just run Everton ragged. He just run them ragged. He was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and that's why Brookings said he retired. He said if Devonshire hadn't got injured, he might have playing a bit longer. But when you had Devonshire and Brookings together at the time, it was just incredible players. You know, Devonshire was really different class. Great player.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to have seen him, but he does. He from what people have told me about him, I've seen a few like replays. I've seen some of the big moments where he scored goals and stuff. But it strikes me as a little bit of he had a bit of the Georgie Best about him, where in the sense that it felt like he was a player ahead of his time.
Yeah, but it was one of those players, like very similar to Georgie Best. When you look at it, back then it was industrial football, right? Played on bad pitches.
Yeah.
God knows how good. Imagine how good Devonshire would have been on good pitches where defenders weren't allowed to tackle you at waist height. I mean, when you look at some of those goals he scored, he's hurdling over challenges in exactly the same way that George Best used to do. You know, bone crunching challenges.
I was just going to say, guys. I mean, the defenders used to kick the shit out of the forwards anyway.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Funny thing was, when he got injured, he got that terrible injury in that FA Cup match, didn't he? And he could never the same, and he lost some of his pace. And when he come back, he had to adapt his game a bit. He played a slightly in the '86 side. He played where he nearly won the league. His game was a bit different. Yeah. He didn't have the same blistering pace, but he still played. He modified his game a little bit, but he's still a great player.
Do you think that's why when people compare Maradona to Messi, do you think that's the difference? Because Messi had to do it in an age really where taking people out of the knees was still okay. You know what I mean?
Difference in Maradona, Nick. He went to Napoli that were not a fashionable side, and he won the league with them.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, Nick, but when Devonshire was around, they used to take him out from the throat, mate.
I know. I've seen some of the tackles. Disabled team, thank you very much, mate. You are a gentleman.
Yeah. Thank you, mate.
Top man. Thank you.
No, I just want to say thanks to the comments in the chat, actually.
No, you get a lot of love,
lots
mate.
of comments for you there, Dave.
A lot of people.
Anyway,
go on, mate.
What I wanted to talk about, so you knew my stance on Moyes previously, Nick, but I think Nigel and Virgil have kind of taught me around a little bit.
Go on.
I've kind on the other side of the fence now.
You're fucking kidding me. You winding me up?
No, mate. No, seriously.
No. Go on.
I think we should stick with him, to be fair.
You're winding me up.
Yeah. Steady on.
Go on.
Okay, yeah, we'll get relegated. We'll probably lose the game. Going to stick around for another 10 years because I won't be able to sell the club. But I don't.
Do you remember what Nigel said? Dave, do you remember what Nigel said? Because I asked him, and he said, I said, we can go down to the Championship, be playing in front of 30,000. And he said, well, at least it'd be a nice, easy walk home, wouldn't it, back to the station?
Do you reckon he would play the kids if all he had left was the kids?
Yeah. No.
No, he wouldn't.
No chance.
He'd get a load of loan signings and freebies,
It would be, yeah. I know. Well, thank God. I thought you lost your marbles there, Dave, for a minute. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But did you watch the cup final today, Dave?
Nah.
Oh, you didn't. I must admit, you missed a good game. I was very cynical about it. I'm thinking because it's two games that we want both to lose. We don't want either of them to be world champions. But it was an impressive game. It was good.
It really wasn't. Good. Yeah.
Have you missed the Premier League, Nick?
Hey.
Have you missed the Premier League? I'm looking forward to the Arsenal game. I must admit.
I'm not looking forward to the Arsenal game. No.
Well, Boxing Day, TV.
I'm looking forward to getting this shit. Like Jonathan said in the last call, I'm just looking forward to this being over. And almost the worst thing that can happen. Not that. Look, if we come back and we beat Arsenal, we go on a run and things change. Fucking fine. Whatever. That is fine. Yeah. I'll swallow it. We go on. We move on. But if all we do, we lose against Arsenal, we scrape a point at home to Brentford, we go and get 3 points away at Leeds, because they're batshit crazy. We beat them 4-3 after they're 3-0 up. Yeah. And he's got 4 points, and we're on 18 games with 18 points, and all that does is that resets the clock. That is a situation where somebody, if you was to say to me then, what would you rather? Would you rather that you'd lost that Leeds game just to get rid of him? At that point, in that scenario, I would probably. I know it sounds shit. I'd probably say yes, because
you never say that. I mean,
what I'm saying, Gary. What I'm saying is, if we were to be changing, if it was different, and we was to come out and we was to look good, and we were everything else, that'd be fine. But if all we're doing is we're resetting the clock at that Leeds game, at that point now, Nick, I'd be thinking, I can't have this forever.
But Nick, it's all about survival. For me, it's all about survival.
Can't have it forever.
It's all about survival. And if we, for instance, go and start,
I want us to beat Brentford.
Yeah, well, you're going, of course you do. But if we go out there and start taking some points, and we're in a comfortable position, going back to what Gary said earlier, comfortable position and an attack on Europe, that would be good enough for me, because Moyes is gone, whether it's now or end of the season, he's gone. New owners, new manager. Even if it ain't new owners, there will be a new manager.
Gary, what I'm saying is, if we just scrape a point against Brentford and then we get 3 against Leeds, we're still only on a point a game. We're still at risk of relegation.
The reason I'm Moyes out is because the reason I'm Moyes out is because I think he's going to get us relegated, right? That is the reason I'm Moyes out. And now that'd have to change significantly for me to suddenly become ambivalent to it.
Nick, how would you be if, sorry, Gal, how would you be, Nick, if suddenly we picked up, say we were Arsenal, Brentford, Leeds, say we did the unthinkable, say we picked up 7 points, out of argument's sake.
Then 100%, I'll be saying stick with Moyes to the end of the season.
Yeah. Even if he wasn't playing, even if he's still playing the same way, just get results.
Because like I just said, at this stage, I think, like Gary said, I think his days are numbered, right? His days are numbered. All I care about now is surviving in the Premier League. If it looked like to me that David Moyes could do that, because the last thing that I want to do now, if we can't go out and we can't get Pochettino, or we can't get this manager, we can't get that manager. I don't really want Warburton until the end of the season. I don't want Dyche. So if David Moyes picked up fucking 9 points in 3 games and that propelled us to midway in the table, then do you know what? Fine. I do still think that at that point, I think he's gone in the summer. I think he's done because, and that's. I think he is. I think there's an awful lot of fans now, an awful lot more now than what there were before. It would take so much now for David Moyes to change their minds. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, you're fickle." If we scraped to win against Arsenal and we got a point and we've done this, we'd be relieved. We wouldn't be happy. If we started playing beautiful football, we might feel different. But we all know that ain't going to happen.
If it stays the same as it is, players are going to start jumping ship. We're going to end up losing Paqueta, Scamacca, probably lose a lot of money, be another Haller situation. Rice will want to go. This is the only thing. All your good players are going to want to get out. And this is why I think the new manager now, if it was a good manager, like Pochettino, for example, something like that, it might spread through the club and get the feel-good factor back in the club again.
Yeah, that's right. And just responding to Alan Dunn here, sorry, Nick, never want to see us lose no matter what. Do you know what? When it comes to the game, I won't. So when it comes to the game, I won't. So when we're facing Leeds, if we're in that scenario and we're facing Leeds, of course, I want us to win. I'm desperate. Yeah. I'm just trying to think now, what would be better? If you're being honest, what would be better in that scenario? You're playing shit. If you lose that game, he goes. If we scrape a win, he stays for another 3 games. We want us to win, but what is better for the club at that point? It's probably better that you lose it, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I just think you're being a bit fickle, to be fair, mate. I mean, me and Gary have seen Lou McCurry in charge.
Yeah, I saw that.
I know.
Oh, great times, Dave.
Great times.
That was dark days. I'll tell you.
I know, he was.
I was going to say also, Nick. Now with we are in a relegation scrap, and as Peter just said, it's about It's about results now, not really performances. So in that respect, Moyes could probably get away with it to a point, playing the same way. Because if he starts picking up points, we probably will accept it, won't we? To just stay up.
Yeah.
But what I don't want, I said to you earlier, I want us to go for the conference this year. I want us to win a trophy. Because it gets back in your season.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. Going back to E20's thing there. Problem is, and this is what we've spoken about so many times. We had the perfect opportunity to bring in a new manager during the World Cup. This is a thing, and we've said it so many times. If the games go how we anticipate they go, and we lose them, and we're 9 points worse off, and then they sack him, how fucking stupid are they going to look?
Yeah.
How stupid are they going to look?
Surely they must have thought about that. Surely,
yeah.
They must have looked at the different scenarios that could take place.
I don't think they do any of that. I don't think they
brainstorm
any planning as such. I think they are right off. I think Sullivan is off the cuff, right? I don't think he plans ahead or he's got any grand strategy. We did have this conversation. We had this conversation with someone who kind of speaks with Sullivan quite a lot, and he basically said that there's no grand strategizing or anything like that. It's by the seat of his pants, it's Harry kind of feels if things start to go tits up, like they would if we lost to Arsenal and Brentford, then
but it's still his money, Gary. It's still his money at stake, isn't it? Because if he sells a club next year and we're relegated, the value of West Ham drops.
Oh, big time. We need to stay up, and he will need to take action because he will be shitting himself. If another couple of games go by and we've got no more points on the board, he will know he needs to do something about it, and he will do something about it. Yeah. He's not going to let us He's not going to let us just get relegated, right?
As much as we slag the board off, they're very rich men, and obviously they're not stupid. You don't get that sort of wealth, do you? So it's his investment into the day, isn't it?
They know what side their bread's buttered, right? They're going to protect their investment. Of course they are.
But anyway, look, we've still got Dave on the line. Dave, is there anything you want to close the call with, mate? Anything you'd like to touch on before we move on?
Yeah, just looking at the next 6 games. If I'm honest, all I can see is 6 defeats. Honestly, I don't see us getting a point from any one of them 6 games.
I can't argue with it. I can't. Yeah. I know it sounds dramatic, and people are going to go, "Oh, fucking hell, this, that, the other." But
I'm with you, Dave. Especially for the first 3 games, I'm definitely with you.
I've seen this for enough years to know that when we're bad, we're really bad, and that's the case at the moment. I'm afraid, and I don't see us getting anything from the next 6. You reeled off the fixtures a bit earlier, and I wouldn't expect us to get anything from them games.
Well, that's the really big ones, mate, are from, like I say, because I'm discounting Brentford because I think they're okay. I don't think we're competing with them at the moment. But I think Leeds, Wolves and Everton, those 3 games there on the spin. Because you imagine losing them. Yeah, they're winnable, but Dave, you lose them, then you're fucked.
Oh, yeah.
You're properly fucked then.
Bearing in mind the teams have replaced their managers as well. So they're going to probably start picking up more points.
Yeah, that's it.
I was going to say, you say they're winnable, but we're also capable of losing them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No. I know. All right then, Dave. What we're going to do? We're going to open the phone lines up, see if anybody else does want to call in. But it was lovely to talk to you, mate. And I'm heartbroken to hear about your mum as well. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I hope you and your family are all right, Dave.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Don't be a stranger, mate. Make sure you tune in on Friday.
You never know. I've got a bottle of JD waiting.
Tune in on Friday. Be a good one. Be a good one. All right then.
Speak soon.
Cheers, Dave. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's not nice. Not nice.
No. Well, I'm going to put the phone number up for if anyone else does want to call in. There we go.
So we're 5 minutes before the 2 hours. We're doing quite well here. So Sullivan has never done the right things. The gentleman says about conference. Yeah, it will go out the window if we're struggling in the Premier League. Of course it will. I think the point is, if we're suddenly not struggling in the Premier League and we're looking comfortable, be it in 15th, 16th, 17th, whatever, but if we're looking comfortable and playing all right and winning the games we need to win, then I think you will see all the eggs in the conference basket.
I've got a call. Hello there.
Go on in.
Who's on the line? Hello. Hang on a minute. How about if I connect you? Can you hear us now?
Oh, that's better.
Sorry, mate. I couldn't hear you before. How are you, mate? What's your name? Where are you from?
Alex, and I'm from Essex.
Hello, Alex from Essex. You're right.
Where in Essex, Alex? Where in Essex?
Well, I was originally born in Harlow, but I was sort of been raised up in near Saffron Walden all my life.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Not bad, not bad.
Lifetime West Ham fan, of course.
Short lifetime, but yeah.
For your sins.
I'm only 25.
Oh,
yeah.
You show off.
I've only. No, I'm not sure.
Stop gloating.
All I've ever known is like relegation battles and fucking going down and coming up. Fucking hell.
Oh.
That's it. That is. Well, no, look. Having said that, we did have some respite, mate. You enjoyed the 15-16 season, didn't you? Yeah. And the last two have been good as well.
At least I've seen us win
I didn't
things.
think it was going to get this bad.
Yeah, but as a percentage of seasons that you've watched us, you've had 3 or 4 good seasons. That's a very high percentage of positivity compared to me and Gary. Bloody hell. We'd kill for that, wouldn't we?
That's what my dad says. Apparently I've done really well the past 2 years, especially.
Yeah.
I've seen us winning Cup final 75-80. I've seen us 86 nearly win the league. I've seen the 76 European Cup winners Cup final. So I've seen probably more than some fans have. But you think some of the fans for the last 15, 20 years won nothing, have we really? I mean, apart from that, 1980 is the last time we won anything. I know we had the 2006, we were that close, but a lot of fans probably don't ever recall us doing anything.
No.
This is what I'm saying.
It's been largely misery. It's been largely misery for us.
Yeah, I'll be gutted if we don't win the conference this year because there's a real opportunity there.
We won't.
But Alex, what would you like to talk about, mate? What's your gripe?
All sorts. I've got an interesting stat. I know we like a stat.
We do.
This was. I'm pretty sure it was posted the evening after the Leicester game, so it should be relevant still.
Yeah.
About the whole where we scored, I believe it was 12 goals in 14 games.
Yeah.
Apparently, in the past 5 seasons, there's only been 14 teams that have scored less than a goal a game, and 79% or 11 of those teams have been relegated.
Yeah, I saw that. So I saw that. I know.
That is
worrying,
shocking,
isn't it?
That's a desperate stat, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's the problem this year. It's lack of goals, isn't it?
Yeah, and that is always the way. When you're not scoring goals, they're the teams that get relegated. Yeah,
that's what I said, Gary, before. One thing about Moyes, we don't get fresh for anyone.
Yeah.
So obviously, but we're just not scoring enough, are we?
No.
The amount of games this year we haven't scored at all, and it's quite a lot of them.
No,
it's not good.
It's not great. I mean, like I say, I think it's sort of staring us in the face now. You can't discount what Moyes did for us, and this is a thing where. And this is why people have stuck with him for so long, because, like I say, I think he did more than just save us. He gave us 2 excellent seasons.
Yeah.
And I'm not sneering at it. I never would. I never enjoyed the style of football. I didn't, but it brought results. It worked. Yeah. It was working. Yeah. We was winning. We was enjoying success. You know, we was getting up there. We was fighting on fronts that we hadn't fought on before, but.
And in return, he was getting paid millions. So,
he was getting paid millions, and the fact of the matter is, I think as Dave said earlier on, I think he deserved his chance. I think he's had his chance, I hate this 3-game fucking thing. I hate it. I think
if it's true.
No, I think no, it is true. If he loses the next 3 games, he's gone. It's 100%. Because I think in that scenario there, when a manager is given 3 games, in my mind, the board's already made their mind up. They've already made their mind up.
I think, like you said, like 3 games. Yes, he has got 3 games because if he loses them, he's gone. Probably if he loses 2, he's gone. But that ain't the way Sullivan's. But Sullivan ain't sitting there thinking he's got 3 games. Sullivan will just react when things start to look desperate. And things start to come back on him. Right.
Yeah.
The reality is, if we lose at Arsenal on Boxing Day, more than likely we are going to be in the bottom 3.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a reality. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not good. We are in a relegation.
Can I ask, guys? I've got a question, and it's sort of it will come back round to what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Which is like the board. Do you guys think a lot of the purchases in the summer were Moyes' choice or the board's?
Oh, would it? Well, Gary, do you want to do this one?
Well, yeah, I now listen. I've heard different sources. I've heard different sources say different things. Right? Some people just say it. They take a blasé approach and say Moyes has the final word. Right? That's what they say, and so that is kind of the party line from the club. Moyes has the final say. He picks the players. He does. But looking at those players, he doesn't have a clue how to use them. They don't fit in his system. Can you honestly believe that Moyes went out and chose Lucas Paqueta or Scamacca?
No, exactly.
Or, it just doesn't add up, does it? Do you think he wanted Tilo Kehrer, Emerson,
Ben Rama?
But
then Ben Rama, Well, Ben Rama, we know wasn't one of his signings, right?
But then Gary, when I was on that, because that's my only defence of David Moyes, and that was
you had an interesting conversation about this on Hammer's chat,
with Gonzo, and Gonzo did. He speaks to a lot of people at the club, and he spoke to Barry Silkman in particular, who was involved in that deal with bringing Paqueta over to the club. Yeah, and I used Paqueta as an example, and I said, look, I can't see that Moyes would buy Paqueta for 50 million, and he went, well, he did. He said it weren't Sullivan. It was nothing to do with Sullivan, and Newman hasn't got the authorisation for it. It was 100% David Sullivan saw that player. I think with Scamacca, we saw Newman was photographed with Scamacca as part of that deal when they was coming over on the plane and everything else. Newman was there. He was photographed. He wasn't involved in the Paqueta deal, but yes, he did say. He said no. I can honestly tell you that. The big ones, the big players, were David Moyes signings. And how bizarre is that? Particularly the Scamacca one. The Scamacca one, particularly that one.
I still don't buy it. I still do not buy it.
The thing is,
you don't believe it.
No, I don't.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? It's hard to believe.
I just don't see.
If he did buy Paqueta, it would mean that he's looking to change the style somewhat, surely.
Yeah.
Because if it,
but Gary,
that's a Gary in 4-2-3-1.
But Gary, to back that up, they all did. There was an article before the season started from David Moyes, and then backed up with Rob Newman, basically saying that our style of play has been found out. We need to change. We need to evolve into a more passing-sided team, and that's what we're going to be targeting in the summer, is a different type of player. Rob Newman then backed that up with a similar statement to say we're targeting players to help us play a different way. So this has been intentional.
Now, building on from what you just said, Stuart Pearce went on TalkSport, and said they were looking at Paqueta since the Lyon game. You know that Lyon game where none of us noticed Paqueta, right? That's
what I said.
Well,
he was invisible, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. If that's the case, if they were watching Paqueta, there's only one way I can understand this, that if it is Moyes' selection, and that is Moyes has got this thing where he believes he can bring a player in who's a winger and turn him into a striker, or he can bring in someone like who plays as a deep lying midfielder like Paqueta, and he turn him into a number 10. Right? Why not buy a number 10?
Why not buy a left winger look at Vlasic? Vlasic is the main one. What the fuck was that all about? You bought a number 10 who's basically come out and said, I don't want to play left wing. He said that before he came here. I don't want to play left wing. Was left wing.
There you go, left wing.
On the left. Yeah. Stuck on the left.
I know.
Is that an ego thing or what? Was that?
He's mate. Ego with him is ridiculous. He buys projects like Gary said. If you need a left winger, buy a fucking left winger. If you need a central attacking midfielder, buy one. Especially when you're talking about the money we're talking about. 180 million? You ain't got to go. I can understand if you're talking fucking peanuts. You're going to go out, I've only got $1 million, I'm going to have to make shit up. All right, I'll go and buy him. He looks like he could do a job at number 10. You don't go out and buy the Brazilian number 8 for 50 million and go, yeah, I reckon he'd do a job at number 10. You don't do it.
Also,
No,
Nick,
if
Cornet's got an attitude problem, doesn't want to play and all that, what happened to the famous Moyes MOT test?
His MOT test, it don't involve. Do you know what the MOT test is? I'm telling you, it don't involve their injury record. You can see that with Cornet. You can see it with Kera. You can see it with Aguirre, who's got wankles, by the way. Wankles. He's done the same ankle twice before. Yeah. Zuma, who came in with floating fucking kneecaps. His legs do 360-degree spins. We've bought him a centre back, so it don't involve that, does it? All it involves is I don't know what players being maybe submissive. If I bring you in as a centre back, will you be all right if I play you in goal? Yeah, right. You pass the MOT test. Yeah, is that what it is?
Well,
that's what it is.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
The reason I ask, fucking hell, go in the houses. The reason I ask is.
Sorry, mate, you started me off.
You had to start him off, Alex, didn't you?
That's all right. I knew what I was doing. The reason I asked basically was if we're under the impression that maybe some of the signings were forced on by the board. I'm worried and concerned by the lack of, desire to do anything like with regards to they surely they have people there smarter than us that know the club, like know the stats better than us, that should have seen that we were really coming into bad form at the end of last season. And if they're also buying players themselves that they don't think are Moyes players, why wouldn't they be more proactive about getting a better manager in the summer or at 100%. Least now?
100%. If you've got 180 million to spend. All I can say is I do think we've seen it this season, mate. We've seen it this season. Yeah. More, it's taken a lot for the West Ham fans because look, we're not stupid, but we're loyal. And he's given us something that we've not had for a long time. Okay? And that is all that is. But if we'd have got rid of him in the summer, there would have been a massive part of the fan base that would have gone mental. And I mean it. They would have gone fucking nuts. They would.
I mean, what's happened is the league form's been masked by
some of them.
The league form has been masked by the Europa League last year, wasn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
We're thinking, we've got a small squad. And,
it's just it's a loyal fan base.
Sorry, hang on. Amanda has answered the question as to why David Moyes buys players not in their position. Right? It is. He bought them in to improve them.
Oh, fuck me.
David Moyes bought Pochettino in.
Imagine Pochettino being inspired by Moyes to be a better player.
Yeah, that's what he's.
Jesus Christ.
With regards to the Arsenal game, Nick, if you had a choice up front with Antonio or Scamacca, who'd you go with? Because we don't have a lot of the ball.
This is the one thing that I will say where I'm one of them, don't like the idea of Sean Dyche. At least he played 2 up front. He would play Antonio and Scamacca up front. He would do it.
Or Bowen and Antonio, or Bowen and Scamacca.
Whatever. I'll be honest with you. What I will say is with I don't think that I can't help it with Sean Dyche, and I don't want to say it. I kind of feel like we're all being unfair to him. I feel like I've been unfair to him. If he came in, I don't know that. I think I'd give him a chance. Because I think I would give him a chance because I think he's about more than that. He said he did an interview on TalkSport. I think a lot of people have seen it, where he said when I came up with Burnley, if I'd have tried to play like Man City, I'd have got relegated. I've had no means. I've had to do what I've had to do, and I think he'd have kept him up if they hadn't sacked him. I think he'd have kept him up.
Yeah. What about Company?
Company. Yeah,
Company's gone in there and he's completely changed the style of play.
Yeah, no money. But I don't think they could attract Company. I think Company's a two, maybe.
No. What I mean is, you say about.
I would rather have Company. I'd rather have Company.
We're saying Dyche is a certain way, but Company's gone to that club and he's lost his best players.
Not in the Premier League though.
No, granted, but the Championship's a tough league.
I know it's a tough league. I know
what you're saying.
No, you're right with what you're saying, and for me to say otherwise is actually me talking, I suppose, bollocks, because I've been arguing for ages that managers can't change their styles. with David Moyes, and I think David Moyes is proving that. You know, I think he is. So I don't know.
It's like Southgate, isn't it? It's like Southgate. You know, he's not going to. He is what he is. You look at Southgate, you look at Moyes. They're very similar. They both played defenders as players. They're both a bit defensive, and they're not good with substitutions. They're very, very similar.
There's a lot of West Ham fans that are fucking outraged that Southgate's staying as England manager. I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon.
Because you don't care about England. You don't care.
But it means we ain't going to get him. It means that fucking, you know, Pochettino and Tuchel, two managers that I would like, one more than the other, they're not going to get that job now. Look.
Well, it's interesting because if Southgate stays the England manager, and I've heard that apparently them two were looking to be the England manager, then maybe there is a chance to lure one of them. You know, I mean...
There will be. I'm telling you. Listen, I personally think Pochettino, for instance. Let's start with Pochettino. Yeah, he ain't going to get Barcelona. He ain't going to get Chelsea. He ain't going to get PSG no more. He ain't going to get Bayern Munich. He ain't going to get the top jobs. He ain't going to get the Tottenham job off of Conte because Conte is a proven winner. Pochettino isn't. Therefore, people talk about Pochettino like he's Pep Guardiola. He's not.
No, he's never won anything.
But what I mean is, I think he's a projects man. I think that we are Pochettino's level. I think I said it on the show the other day, and I regretted saying it. I said what we need in this club is we need a turd polisher, someone that can come in and make everyone better. Well, look, and my perfect example of that, of someone that can work with a player, make them better. Dele Alli. Brought him in, look at him before, look at him during Pochettino's reign, and then look what happened after Pochettino went. Pochettino makes players better. He gives them belief.
He also works with young players better as well.
He does work with young players better. He does.
He's had the big jobs. He's had the big jobs, right? Poch has had the big jobs, like Nick said. You know, he's had big jobs. He's had Spurs. He had PSG, various other big roles. He hasn't excelled in those jobs. He hasn't really won anything. He did brilliantly at Southampton, right? He did brilliantly at Southampton. He needs a project. Bring him into us. Bring him into us with the talent we've got, and we have got quite a lot of talent in that youth team. If you look at it, and you look at the players we've brought in, you know, very highly rated talent. You know, a manager who knows how to use those players. Completely different situation. So I think he would be absolutely perfect for us.
I think he would.
If only he could see past his own ego.
The only job he might get is at the top six is if Potter doesn't do it at Chelsea.
He will get sacked.
Potter's my number one choice. I think Chelsea would be mad to sack him, the same as Man United with Ten Hag would be mad to sack them. Yeah, because these managers, people like Potter and people like Ten Hag, they are they're visionaries. So they've got a way that they want things to run and a way that they want their team to play, and it takes time to implement. If Chelsea bin him off, they're more fucking fool them. And like Gary says, they probably will. And yes, I would take Potter, even if he fails at Chelsea.
Luis Enrique, I called this the other day. What do you reckon? Luis Enrique?
I don't know. Not really. No. I think Spain are quite impressive. They didn't do anything in this World Cup, did they?
Poch has learned English. He's a pundit on one of the main channels, isn't he?
Yeah. I think Poch would be the ideal choice, really. I think of all the managers, if I had a choice, Poch would be it.
Every day.
He said he lack of the hammers.
He did get them to the Champions League final, didn't he? He got Tottenham to the Champions League final.
He did.
And he nearly won the league that year, and then they blew out. And they were playing a good football at the time, Tottenham.
And how sweet would it be, right? Listen, next season, because they're going to keep Conte, they'll get to a final and they'll lose, because as good as Conte is, Spurs are Spurs. He's going to win fuck all with them. He's going to be like, it's going to drive him mad, but he will never win nothing with them. But then we'll get Pochettino, right? And I think we'll be up there with them. We'll be battling away, but we'll be playing beautiful, fast, high-pressing football, and they'll be playing that fucking snooze ball, which is almost what they play at the moment. Shit football, which it is. It'd be amazing. And they would hate it because they still love Pochettino. They do.
Yeah. They like to style of play under him, I think. He got them running as well. I mean, Dele Alli played. Dele Alli's fell off a cliff, hasn't he? You know.
Fuck me. Yeah, he has. Yeah.
So
he has. But anyway, Alex, any other points, mate, before we close the call? Have you got any other?
I've got a bit of a controversial one, which is I think we're not going to win the Conference League now.
You don't?
Not with Moyes, no.
No, I think no matter how easy, if we get like a really easy run of games in it,
I've just blocked Peter by accident. Pete, sorry, mate. Peter, I've just blocked Sexy Vind XYZ.
And you
but Gary must have been blocking at the same. And I blocked Peter by accident. How do I unblock him?
How do we unblock Peter? God's sake!
Fuck's sake!
Oh, Nick, you're rubbish.
Sorry, Peter. I will sort that out. That weren't meant to happen. I don't know how to unblock him now.
Nah, Sex Find XYZ was definitely blocked.
Gary, are you going to do the blocking? Yeah, because I think that's
I'll do the blocking. I'm supposed to be doing the comments. So what are you doing, diving in here?
All right, sorry.
Sorry, Peter.
So yeah, we'll get you back on, mate. That was an accident. Yes, I don't think we would anyway, because I don't think David Moyes is a winner, and I think we've got more chance of winning the that cup with another manager anyway, whoever that is, even if it was Miles from the fucking canteen. Because I think we've proved it before with David Moyes. I think he shits himself. Yes, we've had great nights in Europe, but when it comes to it, we had 2 bites of the cherry at Frankfurt. Fuck me, can you remember that semi-final? Did you see the kitchen sink that he threw at the semi-final? Because I fucking didn't. He didn't at all. It was almost like he was trying to keep the score down.
We laid down and died. We laid down and died.
So
that was a chance to get to the Champions League, wasn't it?
That was a chance to get to the Champions League. I don't think we would win anyway. But if we're in the bottom 3 and that comes along, I think he would be under a directive from the board to say, "Don't you fucking dare prioritise that competition."
I'll tell you what, you got to ask, haven't you? You got to ask yourself. Looking at that semi-final really irritated me. The way he just conceded it. He just conceded that game. The first time we've been in such a significant game since 1976. That's a fucking lifetime ago, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't feel the need to try and go out, balls out, and try and win it. So if you don't do it there, when's he going to do it?
I just googled how to unblock Peter. What did I Google that for?
Sorry, Alex, what did you say?
Sorry, mate.
The thing is, Gary, when you get to semi-final, you don't lose the home game, do you?
No, you don't. But once you've done that, the away game, the first thing you got to do is, first you don't get a man sent off, right?
Yeah.
But secondly, you go another goal down, so you're 2-0 down on aggregate, you pull out all the fucking stops. And even if you end up winning 5-0, what does it matter? Go for it. The odds are you might nick a goal and make them nervous.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which can happen to any team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a chance gone, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
I think the 2 biggest regrets we've got
about getting a win at all.
I think the 2 biggest regrets we've got at the West Ham is that semi-final, what you just said, Gal.
I've unblocked you, Peter.
And also the January transfer window where we didn't buy anyone. I think they're the 2 biggest things that stand out for me.
Yeah, massively. 2 big fuck-ups.
It was.
And one really calls the other, didn't it?
Yep. We look, in 5 years' time, we look back at this.
I wish John, don't mention this bloke's name, Martinez. No. Come on, John. Sorry.
Oh, fuck. No way, mate.
No.
Definitely don't want him.
Yeah. I think Nick would have a nervous breakdown if he came in.
I'd be fuming. I would. You know I don't do protests. I'd be protesting if that happened.
One-man protest.
Nick, who'd you rather have, Martinez or Moyes?
Yeah, go on, choose.
Choose, Nick.
It's Moyes, isn't it?
Let's put him on the spot.
Moyes, isn't it?
Martinez. Right. Yeah, Martinez I really don't like.
No.
He's a fucking failure. He really, have you seen, he's done nothing with that Belgium team.
But he didn't do it at Everton either.
But no. If you're offering me now, Martinez or Moyes, I'll take Martinez because I'm worried that we're going to get relegated. So I think we need a change. But I'd just be worried that we'd be in the same situation again with that. He's shit. He's won. He's Nigel's dream. He done it with Wigan. He'd win the fucking the Mickey Mouse Cup and get us relegated. Oh, all right, well, we've won that, all right. Yeah. Didn't he? When he their manager, when they beat Man City in the in the cup final.
The problem, Ken Hammers. This is the problem. Yes, we did in reality lose it in the first 2 minutes, but we didn't have to, did we? We didn't have to lose it in the first 2 minutes. These things happen. It's an obstacle to overcome, and he's already done with. Oh,
that was fun. Now switching off, wasn't it?
Yeah, it brings back such horrible memories, such frustrations.
And this is
Harry Maguire. Actually? Yes, I would.
Who do you think at the moment?
I'll take Harry Maguire, yeah. Not as manager, though.
Who do you think at the moment the 3 is going to go down?
Hey?
At the moment, if you had to pick 3, who would you say, honestly?
I'd say Bournemouth, Fulham, and Southampton.
No, I would say Southampton. The rest I cannot call. I don't think Bournemouth are going to go. I think they're too good.
I think
they won't go down. Well. Yeah, there's no way Fulham ain't going to go down. You're having a laugh.
I still think Forest will go down. I think Forest.
I think you're going to be surprised with them.
I think
you're going to be surprised.
Wonder Boy, I don't get your logic. Poch and Tuchel have managed the top echelon team. Exactly, they have managed, and they haven't succeeded. So why are they going to sign up for a relegation battle? It doesn't have to be a relegation battle. No. You know, and with a decent manager, I don't think it would be.
Look at Newcastle last season. They were in the bottom 3. Look at the run they went on. Where did they end up? Just behind us.
Justice.
That's a good point. Craven's just sit there. Look, Everton are in trouble. If Lampard gets sacked, would you take him?
No.
No.
No, fuck off. No chance. Oh, God. Oh, can you imagine? In response to you blocking Peter, Nick.
I'd love the banter. Though, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It would not take long at all. How long would it take for the fans to turn on Lampard, honestly? Do you reckon he'd have a bedding in period?
I think it'd be second half of the first game, wouldn't it?
If he gets one substitution wrong.
That's right. Fucking nepotism.
I think Everton are very similar to us. I think if Everton get on for a bad start, I think Lampard will be gone.
Yeah,
because Everton are not going to risk getting relegated either, are they?
No. They won't go down. They won't go down.
Oh look, Martinez is free, no comp.
I don't care. I don't care if he's free.
No, but you know they don't like playing comp, do they?
Getting relegated ain't free. Yeah, this is true. I know.
He won the FA Cup. He won the FA Cup. Look, he won the FA Cup.
I know. It's not the Mickey Mouse Cup. Fair enough. It's not the Mickey Mouse Cup. But the fact is, he won a cup, but he got them relegated. That is not success.
They got relegated at the same season.
That is not success. It's not. It's the opposite of success.
Only Pulis is available.
You win in a competition, right? Listen, you're winning a competition where the majority of teams play their fucking B teams in it. That is a long and short of it. In the FA Cup, until the end of it. But the long and short of it is in all these cups, the majority of the Premier League teams play their fucking B teams in that competition. So I'd like to win it. Yes, I would, but not at the expense of staying in the Premier League. No
Poch has won nothing, which is why Sharky is perfect for us. He needs to win something. Can you see this
from John? John's gone full Nigel.
I'll take a cup of relegation. John, no! Step away from the comment, John.
No,
honestly, honestly.
Sounds like Nigel.
John, you've changed. You've changed.
He does. He does.
Yeah, see, we had John. Before he took this little break, right?
Oh, I agree, Virgil.
Yeah, before we had John right on side. He was full Moyes out, wasn't he? Before he took a little break. He's changed. Now he's changed.
Mm.
You've changed, John.
Oh dear.
I don't know.
Yes, I can blame Moyes for Frankfurt away.
Poch, but Poch, for me, all right. Look, he didn't win. He got fucking Tottenham to the Champions League final. You know, he got them to the Champions League. Look, we're at a stage now. This is what I think. With Premier League managers, when you're in a project, say it's a project, you need someone to come in and stabilise you. First of all, David Moyes, right? Keep you up, stabilise you. Then you need somebody to build. That's what you need. Get you to that next level, kind of the mid-tier manager. Now, sometimes that manager will take you all the way. But if they don't, if you keep kind of sort of pushing, knocking at the door, but you don't get there, then if you do need to go and win a cup, like Spurs, you go out and you get a Conte. You do this and you do that. I think Pochettino is the middle tier. And I think that's where we are.
Yeah. I think you're right.
It's a projects manager.
I think if Poch came in within a very short time, you'd see these players suddenly performing a lot better than they are now.
My lack of knowledge of other clubs has been exposed. Tuchel did win a Champions League at Chelsea.
Yeah, and Poch has 5 trophies as well.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Poch has 5 trophies.
Who cares? So, not Spurs.
Do you know how many trophies that David Moyes has won in 500 years of management? Do you know? Do you know what the number is?
It's none. Oh no, he won the Charity Shield. He did with Man U.
Right. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Anyway, I've got one more call, Alex. Have you got one more point that you want to make before we part ways? You've been a very good caller, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's about it from me. I thought I'd come in and cheer everyone up with the stats.
Yeah, you have.
No, thanks, Alex.
Fired me up. That was good.
and ruin another Christmas.
we're gonna have a lovely fucking New Year, mate. David Moyes is going to get sacked on New Year's Eve. Can you imagine?
And
Can you imagine? I'm buying fireworks. I'm buying one of them big fucking fireworks.
The piss up.
Do you know one of them like fireworks where you light them and 500 things happen once you've lit them? You can just stand back. You're not like one of the multi sets where you got to go up, tie Catherine wheels to the tree. I'm going to spend about 300 quid on one firework, and that's going to be for when David Moyes goes.
That's what I'll do, Nick. I'll take you all round for an evening, all of you, and I'll pay for the lot.
Yeah, lovely.
I'll take you up on that. Right, but Alex, thank you for the call, mate.
Yeah, nice one, lads. Take care.
Cheers, Alex.
Right, cheers, mate. Right, I've got one more call. I've got
one more call because we're at 2 hours 25.
Are we?
Yeah, we've been on ages. Lionel Scaloni, yeah, I'll take him.
There we go.
Last one, Nick.
I've had a couple of no caller IDs, but obviously I can't call them back. Hello there.
Hello,
can you hear us?
hello. Yeah, I can hear.
Oh, good stuff, mate. It's Nick from Claret and Booze. What's your name and where you from?
BCH, mate, Midlands.
BCH from the Midlands. How are you? Black Country Hammer.
Black Country.
Yeah,
boy. Oh, my man. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm cool. You?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Lovely to talk to you. So, what would you like to discuss tonight, BCH? Oh, hello.
Hello.
Black Country, can you hear us? Hello.
Got technical problems in the Black Country.
Black Country, can you hear us?
London calling.
It's not there.
I'll call you back.
Yeah.
Right, let's try him back. I must call Black Country back. 1 minute. Black Country? Hello?
Hi, Nick.
Can you hear us all right?
Got a terrible line.
We seem to have a bad line, mate. I don't know what's going on now.
Seems to be a delay. It's like you're in Australia.
Yeah. Are you in Birmingham, England?
Alabama.
No, Worcestershire. Worcester.
You're in Worcestershire.
No, it's all...
No, it's a bad line, mate. I'll tell you what, we'll try again. I've got your number now. I'll send you a text message. We'll try again on the next show.
Yeah.
Oh, hello? No,
hello?
No, it's I can't hear you, mate.
Hi, Nick. Hi.
Can you hear us?
Hi.
Hello?
It's not working.
Peter, he wants to know the size of your tits. That's why I had to unblock Peter.
Yeah, good idea from Mandy. Look, call on WhatsApp.
I'm going to call you on WhatsApp. Right, 1 minute. Stay there.
Good call, Mandy.
I'm going to have to add him as a thing first. Give us a minute. Right, 1 minute.
Bloody hell. Technical problems.
I've got to add him as a...
Let's go through a couple of these calls. So, heavy breather, yeah.
What you got in your knickers? What are you wearing? Ooh.
Oh, dear.
Ooh, pants. Stick them big fucking earrings on pants. Hang on. Hang on. Where is it? What it is? Right, try again.
What it isn't. Good.
Oh, Black Country?
Big technical problems in the Black Country this evening.
Black Country, can you hear us all right?
Yeah. No, you can't.
Hello?
Hello, mate. Can you hear us this time?
Hello?
Black Country, can you hear us?
No.
You just said no. Can Black Country?
He's on a wind up.
No, I'm saying yes.
Yes. So can you hear us now? He's on a fucking wind up, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Black Country.
Just
How are you,
about.
mate? You can hear us just about.
I'm fucking pissed. That's why.
You're half pissed.
Yeah.
Your phone's half pissed by the sound of it.
Hello.
Black Country.
Hey, look, why are you sorting that out? Poch has 3 trophies as manager: Ligue 1, the Coupe de France, and 21 Trophy des Champions. Look at that.
He is.
Hello.
Black
For
Country.
fuck's sake.
Black Country, can you hear us? Mate, I'm going to have to let you go. You watch this back, you can see I'm not being rude. I don't know what's going on. As someone said, I think you've got Tesco Mobile or something. Someone said on there.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to call you back tomorrow and we'll sort this out. So I'll get you on next week, all right?
Yeah.
Do that.
Right, okay. Well, that's it. The phone lines are off.
Years.
That's it. It's all done. All
2.5
done.
hours. 2 hours,
That was a long
30
show.
minutes.
Yeah.
It's been a long show. It's been a good show.
Been a good show.
Don't drop a like on the video, people, if you can. That'd be good. That'd be nice. And also, again, we've had some people throwing us a few super chats. Thank you very much. Very kind as well. If anyone does want to donate as well, we've got the PayPal in the description as well. If you want to become a Claret and Booze founder member, we'll let you know what that's all about in the new year. But yeah, all good. It's Barney McGrew. Hello. But Gary, do you want to close up?
Yeah. No,
I've had one too many red wines for a Sunday night. I've got to be fucking early in the morning. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, thank you for all your lovely comments in the chat. It's been a good show tonight. And Gary, thanks for joining us on video. It's a very, very good debut, Gary.
Yeah, I loved it.
Have to have you back.
Brilliant.
So yeah. It's been lots of fun tonight. I find these sort of Sunday nights a little bit uplifting. You're going a little bit miserable. It's like someone said in the chat, at least when you're talking about West Ham, you're not thinking about it by yourself. It's like misery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like group misery, isn't it? It's
Therapy.
like group therapy.
Group therapy.
That's what it's like. Yeah.
I prefer this to a Friday night because Friday night things going on. Sunday night, you're right, Gal. It's a great night.
Well, that's right. I always have to be sober. I have a couple of drinks usually on the Sunday, but I can't get drunk because I've got work on the Monday, right? So. Anyway,
with the Boxing Day game being on a Monday, isn't it?
Monday.
Yeah. So when will your show be after the Arsenal game? When will you come back on again?
Well, I don't know because Nick's going and it's a 7 o'clock kickoff, isn't it? Or 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock,
8 o'clock,
8 o'clock kickoff. So what we'll have to do there, Nick, is we'll have to.
Right?
I don't know what time you're going to get back. I might have to do a solo one. Or
so
maybe John will come out of retirement.
Yeah, John will be available.
I'll be around probably. So.
Yeah. Brilliant. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm going to do as well. So that should be quite good. It's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? So look, thank you all for joining. As Nick said, please drop it subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I think only about 50% of our viewers have subscribed. Sometimes less. So, and watch out for
it is less. It's less than 50%. Yeah,
that's right. And watch out for the new, more regular daily shows this week. So we're going to do a couple each to fill up Monday to Thursday, and then we'll be back next weekend. So, see you all soon, and come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons. Let's find the outro video. Right, there we go. See you later.
Professional.